Is there any mystery behind the numbers? Apparently there is. Lin Zaiasu has been dealing with Qianlong for quite some time now. He knows that this iron rooster is not easy to pluck. A typical task rewards 100,000. A slightly heavier task offers no more than 200,000. Even when he, with Chang Yi, ventured across nations into Fusang, causing the earth-shaking Fusang tsunami to seize the Purple Devil Stone, critical to national communications, the reward was just 1,000,000. The feat of hunting down the white-clothed king with blood trace, something worthy of being recorded in Qianlong's history, and even earning the Qianlong annual medal, only fetched him 250. All signs indicate that Qianlong's cash rewards are indeed quite stingy, which is understandable since Qianlong represents the country, and the country's rewards for talent never primarily emphasized economic incentives. However, for this operation, Qianlong granted him a reward of 5,000,000. Million in those large corporate companies is really not much. But in Qianlong's history, it is unprecedented. What does this signify? Firstly, Qianlong takes the seizing of Kun Kang air control very seriously. Secondly, this seriousness is a consensus from top to bottom. You can tell from the timing of the reward distribution. The Wuxiang Temple operation was last night, ending in the early hours, and Qianlong distributed the bonus by noon at 12 o'clock. This smooth process is unparalleled, reflecting 4 shining words: beyond dispute. Very good, excellent. Seizing Kun Kang air control is not the conclusion of the operation. It's merely the beginning of a grand chess game. This big game requires Qianlong's high attention and a non-controversial environment. The 5,000,000 reward is just icing on the cake for him. But the 5,000,000 reward landing in half a day gave him ample confidence. Brother Lin, it's only been just over a month since the start of the year, and you've already achieved last year's full business yield. Can I interview you? Any thoughts? My thoughts might be a bit punch-worthy. Lin Zaiasu rubbed his chin and said, I'm not interested in money. Zhou Zai's eyes gently turned. Not interested in money, even if this Versailles is punch-worthy, I accept it. So here's a new question. If a foreign little beauty travels far to come to you, are you interested? Lin Zaiasu's eyes widened. His gaze landed on Zhou Zai's eyes, and there was a bit of mystery in Zhou Zioma's eyes. His gaze then fell on Miao Ruolan. Miao Ruolan looked at him with a gentle smile. I'll just tell you directly, last time that Catherine came specifically to find you. When did she arrive? Lin Zaiasu's heart slightly skipped. You had just left when she arrived. She couldn't catch you, so she bought a small wooden house by Tashan Lake and stayed there. What? Lin Zaiasu's heart rippled slightly. Catherine is here. She came specifically to find him. Failing to catch him, this girl actually bought a small wooden house by Tashan Lake and stayed there. If it's just the granddaughter of a foreign duke, Lin Zaiasu wouldn't care. But only he knows that the primordial spirit controlling this girl is an ancient great power. The one looking for him is not a modern society's noble young lady, but an ancient great power. Did she say what she came looking for me for? No, she just came looking for you. We told her you were on a business trip and she didn't say much, just turned and went to Tashan Lake. Also, she didn't speak English this time. Her Chinese is actually very good, said Miao Ruolan. Moreover, her skills are quite high, Zhou Zai said. She even saved Zhou Mei's life. What's the situation? Zhou Zai and Miao Ruolan took turns explaining to Lin Zaiasu. After the start of the year, something both big and small happened in Fengcheng. Considering the increasing number of tourists at Tashan, to ensure tourist safety, the government built a Tashan police station at the Tashan Peak. Zhou Mei got promoted as the head of this police station. A dozen days ago, a genetic person broke into the police station, injuring 3 people, and Zhou Mei had a fierce battle with this genetic person, but she was at a disadvantage, on the brink of danger. It was then that Catherine appeared and subdued the genetic person with just a raise of her hand. Genetic person? What kind of genetic person? Lin Zaiasu's brow slightly furrowed. This genetic person's genes are very peculiar. Their hands and feet can turn into sharp claws. Their hand can regenerate if chopped off, said Miao Ruolan. Lin Zaiasu's mind became as clear as snow. The Tashan police station wasn't an ordinary scenic area police station. Its special mission is related to the ancient tower at Tashan. After last year's exotic beast incident at Tashan, he revealed this trump card. Chief Zhang knows there's an ancient formation under the stone tower. Jo Mei knows too, and they reported this to Qianlong, who made a response. This response plan was to establish a police station and assign special personnel to guard it. To the outside, it's just a scenic area police station, unremarkable. The internal mission is to guard it, preventing the Litian clan people from causing damage. Serving in this police station is not something an ordinary person can handle, because the enemy it faces is non-human. Jo Mei was honored to be selected, because Jo Mei has already mastered the basics of the rejuvenation secret technique. She is an ancient martial cultivator. Once Jo Mei took over as the head of Tashan Police Station, sure enough, she faced the Litian clan's sabotage. Although she had stepped into the door of ancient martial cultivation, her cultivation was still shallow, so she couldn't match the destructors specially sent by the Litian clan. At this critical moment, Catherine, no, Saintess Qian Ling made a move. The incident has been spreading wildly in Fengcheng, with all kinds of interpretations in the public discourse. But Lin Ziaosu quickly connected all the incidents and reconstructed the event chain in his mind. "Little Su, are you going to meet her?" Miao Rulan asked. "I have to, but not today. It's already dark." Lin Ziaosu cast his eyes outside, the last glance skimming over the peak of Dangjia Mountain. Indeed, it was almost dark. Zhou said, "I've made an appointment with Li Fang to have dinner, Sister Lan. I won't be back tonight." She picked up a small bag and left the door. Miao Rulan's face instantly turned red. At some point, "I've made an appointment with Li Fang" seemed to have become a code between them. When Lin Ziaosu returned home, Zhou Zai and Li Fang were scheduled. The entire detective agency was left with just the two of them. At this moment, it was already spring. Fengcheng is in the most intense season of spring. However, the richest strand of spring was still on the second floor of the detective agency. That night, the starlight was hazy in the sky. Yishui was rushing outside the window. Miao Rulan was softly humming a happy tune, letting the spring water overflow the banks. She didn't ask Lin Ziaosu about the high-speed train heading to spring, or what sceneries he witnessed along the way, simply because she never positioned herself as his girlfriend. She didn't want to put pressure on him. Even during intimate moments, she never called him husband. She also didn't probe into his schedule, because she knew his schedule intersected with Qianlong's, related to the country. If she probed, he would be in a dilemma, so she asked nothing, and she didn't even call or message him when he was on a business trip. "That's Miao Rulan. On the journey of you traveling afar, she may not be there. But as long as you turn around, she will certainly be there. She is there, gently looking at you, smiling, smoothing away all your fatigue, letting you feel the serenity of a ship returning to port." Chapter 318. Chapter 318. Fulfilling the promise, giving you a list. The next day, when Lin Ziaosu woke up, it was already noon. Stretching lazily, he felt a refreshing comfort throughout his body. He got up leisurely, washed up, ate the beef rice bowl that Rulan had left in the thermal box, and strolled out of the detective agency. "Sister Lan, is Brother Lin going to meet that foreign girl?" Zhou withdrew his gaze from the glass door. "Probably," Miao Rulan replied. "She came across the sea, waited for him for over a month, so he really should meet her." Coming from Luoba State, a foreigner is naturally a bit unsettling. But admit it, this girl chose a method he must acknowledge by saving Jo Mei's life, Zhou said. Saving Jo Mei's life, in a sense, is a statement of position. The Litian clan still harbors malicious intent, wanting to destroy this stone tower, and the people of Nine-Headed Snake would likely be pleased. As long as it's an act of destruction against Daxia, they surely would take pleasure in it. However, Catherine disrupted this action. She stood on the side of Daxia country. For this reason, Lin Ziaosu should meet her. He didn't ride a bike or take a car. He crossed the city and went straight to Tashan Lake. Arriving at the lakeside, he lifted his gaze, first looking at the summit of Tashan. At the top of Tashan, there is a white house. This is a newly completed building. That is the Tashan police station. And indeed, with the whole mountain lush and green, the pristine white house amidst it adds a touch of beauty. At this time of year, Tashan Lake is also quite beautiful. The lakeside wooden cabins, amidst the rippling green water, exude a bit of elegance. The bustling sounds of the modern city seemed far away from here. Lin Ziaosu let his gaze drift over a dozen small cabins, settling on one of them. In this cabin sat a blonde-haired, blue-eyed foreign girl. Despite her appearance, she was dressed in hanfu, sitting under the tree's shade sipping tea, much like a fairy queen from a Western medieval fantasy film. Catherine, oh no. Saintess Kyan Ling lazily lifted her gaze, gazing absent-mindedly at the shimmering waves of Tashan Lake before her. Her consciousness seemed to drift far, far away to another world. Back at the foot of Spirit Mountain. Back then, the Spirit Lake looked like this too. From the lake alone, it was the same red blossoms and green willows, the clear lake surface. However, only the lake surface had 3 parts similarity, not including the lakeside. The lakeside of Spirit Lake of old had countless exotic spirit realm flowers, magical, agile spirit realm exotic beasts, and countless clansmen coming and going. And today's lakeside is modernized, with incessant cars, and Daxia citizens who look drastically different from her appearance, giving her curious glances. Time truly terrifying. It can easily erase so many traces. It can turn any heavenly pride into a marginal figure of the ordinary world. Is there anything similar in this world? Even a single one? This might be the greatest confusion in her heart now. Suddenly, her gaze lifted, staring at the grass outside the cabin. A man walked gracefully to the front of the cabin. Lin Zaiasu. He's finally back. Saintess Kyan Ling took a gentle breath, slowly revealing a smile. The wooden door creaked open and closed again. Lin Zaiasu arrived before her. Catherine, welcome back to Daxia. Saintess Kyan Ling extended her hand, lightly shaking his. I've been here over a month. Sorry, I happened to be out of town, just got back yesterday, and upon hearing you came from afar and also invested in revitalizing Tashan Lake real estate, I rushed over earlier today. Earlier? Saintess Kyan Ling looked at the sky. Is today's sky still early? Sorry, just got up. For me, waking up less than an hour ago is still early. Saintess Kyan Ling laughed. Rules are made by the person. I like this personality. Let's communicate in Chinese then. Okay. Please sit. These 2 words were spoken in Chinese. Lin Zaiasu sat down. This is your Daxia tea, specifically the local tea from Fengcheng County, Xianglu Yunwu. Saintess Kyan Ling lifted the teapot, pouring him a cup. When I wasn't here, you were already drinking this Xianglu Yunwu, Lin Zaiasu said, lifting his cup. I've always liked tea, Saintess Kyan Ling smiled slightly. Isn't it a bit strange? Nothing strange about it. With so many people, there are diverse preferences. Some in Daxia yearn for Western lifestyles. Naturally, there are those in the West seeking Daxia's way of life. Don't you want to ask why I came this time? Saintess Kyan Ling lifted her own cup. Lin Zaiasu smiled. Go ahead. This time I came because of our previous agreement, Saintess Kyan Ling said. I promised to cooperate with you to eradicate 9-headed snake. Lin Zaiasu's heart suddenly jolted. His cup paused at his lips. The previous agreement. Catherine's agreement back then was, if she could obtain the relic of Saintess Kyan Ling, then she, representing the Naren's family, would become Lin Zaiasu's informant in Luoba State, jointly targeting 9-headed snake. This agreement hit Lin Zaiasu's psychological defense line. Just with this agreement, he must cooperate with her. Why? He knew that having the support of a millennia-old family in Luoba State would be highly advantageous both for Qianlong and for himself. With such a supreme bargaining chip, he promised to work with Catherine. At that time, he regarded Catherine as a partner, as an instrument to break the stalemate. But later on, the fundamental facts deviated. When Catherine gave him a mask, he knew the ideal was abundant, reality often skinny. Catherine had absolutely no genuine intention to cooperate. Her visit wasn't just for the Spirit Clan relic, she also wanted his life. In this situation, he completely forgot their original agreement. With the basis deviated, how could he expect her to fulfill their initial agreement? Yet today, she proactively mentioned this agreement. Saintess Kyan Ling said, don't hold too much hope. The higher-ups of 9-headed snake are extremely secretive. I can't present their high-level list to you just yet. What I've brought you are only some domestic lists. Her hand gently lifted, handing a piece of paper to Lin Zaiasu. Lin Zaiasu took it, glancing over. There were over 30 names, followed by their current roles. Half were company heads, while 4 or 5 were scientists, and 4 were officials with quite high ranks. Thanks, Lin Zaiasu pocketed the paper, lifting his gaze. This was simply our initial agreement, no thanks needed, Saintess Kyan Ling replied with a slight smile. I just got back yesterday, Today I have some tasks to complete. In a few days I'll come over to chat with you again, Lin Zaiasu announced, standing up. All right. Lin Zaiasu left the lakeside of Tashan. Despite seeming leisurely, he vanished from Saintess Kyan Ling's sight within a few steps. Saintess Kyan Ling gently exhaled, as if relieved. Indeed, she had a mental knot that had almost become a heart demon over the past few months. She is an ancient great power. Our situation is very unique. As an ancient great power with powers connecting heaven and earth, coming to an end of Dharma era, her divine skills couldn't penetrate. Her great prowess couldn't manifest. Her sole glimpse of opportunity lay within him. The strand of life law aura born from his blood tower. Chasing the slim chance, she left Luoba State, came to his side. She imagined countless scenarios of encounter, eventually all seemed to converge into one. Simple and blunt 4 words, have that with him. Why though? Simple logic. She needed to capture this profundity under his true chi stimulation. And he liked, or was accustomed to using true chi to stimulate a certain part of her, and indeed only that part had the deepest insight into life law. Why? Life passage, naturally marked with life's imprint. But could that place endure stimulation? Going back and forth, who could withstand it? Moreover, the most crucial point is that pure stimulation, with short time and divergent thoughts, truly makes it difficult to sense anything significant. The most effective plan might be to have that with him being creative at the top, while she takes it all below, lasting longer, intense stimulation. Once that would surpass 100 rounds of scratching outside the boot. Chapter 319. Chapter 319, Unheard of Heavenly Star Tears on the Cultivation Path. From a modern perspective, there's no obstacle here. Young people govern their own bodies. Wherever there's fun, youth follows with excitement. However, Saintess Kyan Ling couldn't understand this no matter how hard she tried. She is not a modern person. She was once the saintess of a great sect. On one side was the only chance for her cultivation's revival. On the other was a Tao heart preserved for millions of years. She's been in continual struggle, her struggle becoming a heart knot, a knot turning into heart demon. But today, by the lakeside meeting with Lin Zaiasu, Saintess Kyan Ling made a major discovery. She suddenly found that this young man's cultivation had stepped into a new realm, his blood tower completed, and a heavenly star tier was formed. Under the observation of her primordial spirit, that heavenly star tier was surprisingly the embryonic form of a life law seed. The law seed is the true key to open the law gate. The law seed in their former great world was rare and valuable, considered an exotic treasure surpassing others from various heavens. No one would have thought such an exotic treasure would naturally form inside a cultivator's body. Moreover, it emerged in a very low-level cultivation stage. Yes, the observing earth realm, for such prominent figures like them, is an extremely low-level cultivation tier. Entering observing heaven path from observing earth, forming 9 heavenly star tiers is common practice on the cultivation path. Everyone walks this same journey. However, whose heavenly star tier can display the primordial essence of one's cultivation technique? Perhaps this is the true secret of a perfect foundation. With a perfect foundation, it can showcase the origin of this cultivation technique. The origin. 5 words appeared in her mind. These 5 words are the oldest texts from her clan, and also the most mysterious principle concerning the great Tao. The beginning is also the return. The great Tao is profound and unparalleled. The heavenly Tao always offers chances to cultivators. It's just that most cultivators are too eager and neglect their foundation, forgetting their path, unaware that true Tao often lies in the most basic parts. The most basic things are the Tao's beginning and also the ultimate direction of the great Tao. This heavenly star tier offered her a chance to strive in adversity. Compared to this heavenly star tier, talk about scratching an itch or bedroom rendezvous. All are worthless to ponder. Lin Zaiasu had no idea that so many thoughts spun through her mind at that moment. He stretched out his hand, and suddenly an invisible pair of glasses appeared in his palm. The glasses were placed on his nose, capturing the note from Saintess Kyan Ling, which was then sent to a person in the next instant. Deep in the South Sea, a large island. Base 101. On a mountain within the base, an elegant small courtyard blossomed its dew colors in the spring breeze. Red was the welcoming flower, white was the delicate shadow flower, blue was the blue rose, yellow was Xinyu's thoughts. Xinyu sat on the swing, somewhat resentful. Even though I consider you as my closest sister, you went to the Northwest without inviting me. I know you met Lin Xiaoming, which might not be suitable for children, but did you have to avoid me for that? I've known for a long time what you did with him. When you were humming in the room, I was outside guarding the door for you. My goodness, must you interpret such a serious action with such vulgarity? Chang Yi was speechless. I had to understand it from a vulgar perspective, or my mind would be deeply wounded. I'd feel you look down on my skills. I've already mentioned that for this action, he issued an invitation to Blood Trace King. Blood Trace King decides who to invite without needing my consultation. Next time, if there's an action under my authority, I promise to invite you, all right. Now that's my good sister. The grievance on Xinyu's face vanished instantly, and she hugged Chang Yi's arm. What is it? Are your hands free, feeling restless? As long as you're willing to accept missions, Qianlong missions never end. Xinyu's grievances stirred again. But look at those missions lists. The tasks for us newly promoted gold medals are all these worthless assignments, undercover missions, bearing humiliation, reconnaissance, without enforcement authority. Do you think me, Xinyu, could endure humiliation and shoulder heavy duties? All gold medals gradually accumulate experience like this, step by step. After the higher-ups see your capabilities and accomplishments, they can entrust you with major responsibilities. Hey, ask Lin Xiaoming if he has any missions that ignite explosive sparks right upon arrival. Chang Yi chuckled helplessly. He just got home too, only just seated on his stool. How could there be so many missions waiting? Suddenly, she abruptly fell silent. She put on her dragon eye and received a message. The source of the message was her personal private memo, husband. Upon seeing this message, Chang Yi's eyes immediately brightened. Who sent the message? Xinyu stared at her. Lin Xiaoming. Ah, Lin Xiaosu. Chang Yi almost got misled by Xinyu. Xinyu exclaimed, is there really a major mission? Chang Yi took a deep breath. Perhaps it really is. Xinyu leaped 8 feet high. Quickly send it to me, let me see. A list of names, 31 names, 31 identities at first glance. None are simple. Xinyu furrowed her brow. Where does this list come from? He didn't mention it, but that's not important. Chang Yi said, what's important is the opportunity you've been yearning for has come. Brother-in-law understands me so well, I love him to death. Xinyu said, give me this list of 31. As soon as the words fell, her figure disappeared on the spot. Chang Yi had a toothache expression, unsure whether it was unspeakable hardship or relief. Xinyu was worried about not having the chance to use her skills. Lin Xiaosu offered her an opportunity in the blink of an eye. These 31 people in Dragon Eye have no evidence against them. Having no evidence is normal. If there were evidence, they would have been arrested long ago. However, knowing these 31 have major suspicions, it's not particularly difficult to investigate and gather evidence. Qianlong had long laid a net in the mundane world. Qianlong Gold Medal has the authority to mobilize it. Once these hidden lines are activated, a comprehensive investigation into the 31 individuals will surely reveal something. Even if there are those who act extremely discreetly, doesn't Xinyu have her special skills? Xinyu specializes in invisibility technique. After the wedding murder case, she used the invisibility technique to follow Wang Yufei, who called Jiangcheng's top detective He Jiang, all under her control. In an instant, she apprehended Wang Yufei. A person with the invisibility technique is like a ghost near the criminal suspect, making breakthroughs 10 to 100 times easier than normal. The list has already been sent out. The storm is sweeping across the land of Daxia. Lin Xiaosu let the bullets fly a little longer. He embarked on the road to Tashan. Tashan, just like the old days. Spring has arrived, flowers have bloomed. Walking in the mountains, there was a faint fragrance that was deeply hidden orchid flowers. He followed the scent up to the top of the mountain, standing there, gazing at the white building. This building is very ordinary, except for its white and blue color scheme, which shows its uniqueness. It's a police office. Lin Xiaosu's gaze became transcendent, reversing time to 14 days ago. Night. No stars, no moon. A figure moved through the woods, like a beast, undoubtedly a Li Tian clan member. This Li Tian clan member climbed over the wall into the police office, and with one strike, the 3 officers inside fell down, while a graceful figure leaped down from the 2nd floor, and they fought. That was Zhou Mei. Zhou Mei practiced ancient martial arts. Her combat power in the eyes of ordinary people was already non-human. However, she was still no match for this Li Tian clan member. As he was about to succeed, a blonde foreign girl appeared in front of Zhou Mei. Saintess Qian Ling lightly raised her hand, holding a twig. Leaf fragments from the twig flew out, piercing the limbs of this Li Tian clan member. And he fell to the ground. Zhou Mei searched this Li Tian clan member and found a small bag, and the item taken out from the bag made even Lin Xiaosu's heart race. This is the latest TH-35 grenade, ceramic shell, temporary inability to effectively detect at airport security. What's more terrifying is its explosive power. The TH series represents thermobarometric bombs. A single thermobarometric hand grenade can easily destroy a high-rise building. The TH-35 grenade's first appearance was on July 13, 2 years ago, Black Friday, when a grenade exploded at the heavily guarded Jade country's presidential palace, flattening the high-rise, while the Jade country president and the visiting Baisha country president from the Middle East both met their demise. The Tigers of the Middle East organization claimed responsibility for the explosion. However, everyone knows that such a terrorist organization like the Tigers of the Middle East doesn't have the capability to produce miniaturized thermobarometric hand grenades, and the miniaturization and invisibility of various highly destructive weapons happens to be Nine-Headed Snake's specialty. Nine-Headed Snake is the one doing this clandestine act. What it wants is for everyone worldwide to feel its omnipresent threat. What does it mean when a Li Tian clan member was found carrying a TH-35 grenade? At least it means that utopia within Daxia is not isolated, as these two beasts have achieved resource sharing on the path to devastate Daxia. The true target of bringing the TH-35, of course, lies beneath the ancient tower's ancient array. TH-35 is originally most effective in caves and confined spaces. If he successfully deploys it into the underground ancient tower, then Lin Xiaosu took a deep breath and walked toward the police office. Chapter 320. Chapter 320. Missing a meal won't kill you. The police office is located at the mountain top, which has its advantages, namely that there are relatively fewer trivial matters. But it also has its disadvantages, which is that you have to endure solitude. So the two officers transferred to this police office to assist Zhou Mei are both relatively older, unable to rush around outside, or have occupational diseases. They are sent to the top of Tashan to make the most of their remaining energy. Lin Xiaosu knows these two old comrades. Upon seeing Lin Xiaosu, the two old comrades are very enthusiastic. You're looking for Chief Zhou. She's here, in the office. Chief, this girl got promoted. Lin Xiaosu gently knocked on the door, and Zhou Mei's voice came from inside. Come in. The door was pushed open, and Zhou Mei behind the office table looked at Lin Xiaosu's face, which became more handsome after the year, stunned for half a minute. The door closed behind Lin Xiaosu. I heard you and a little beauty took a high-speed train to Spring. Why are you back? Is your spring over? Zhou Mei said. Come on, your words sound like a curse to me. What do you mean sounds like a curse? They are indeed a curse, aren't they? Zhou Mei stood up. The two little flowers in your detective agency curse your spring turns into autumn daily. They're just embarrassed to say it, so I say it for them. What would you like to drink? Drink vinegar. Lin Xiaosu rolled his eyes. Zhou Mei walked over and offered him a cup of tea. Then she sat beside him, raised her eyebrows lightly. Look, see any changes? Lin Xiaosu looked her up and down. Without wind and rain, your face seems prettier, and from idleness, you seem a little plump. His gaze passed over Zhou Mei's chest. This chest is indeed plump. The poor police uniform cannot contain it. Zhou Mei cast him a sideways glance. Please, move those lusty eyes upward, look at my shoulders. Shoulders. On her shoulders, two police stars shimmered. Lin Xiaosu smiled. Two police stars, you've finally done it. Zhou Mei was very happy, but at this moment she was also very modest. Modest police stars are just the concentration of past achievements, not a reason for arrogance. Past achievements, including the circle you walked on the line of death 14 days ago. One sentence pulled Zhou Mei back from her smug state. You know about this incident. Just heard Rulan mention, so I came. Zhou Mei felt a mix of unknown emotions in her heart. Her eyes subtly shifted. Afraid I wouldn't make it. Well, why? Because I'm still renting your house. Your mother wouldn't feel right increasing the rent while you're around. But if you didn't make it, what if your mother's in a bad mood and raises the rent? Get lost. Zhou Mei wished she could kick him. All right, all of that earlier was joking, Lin Zaiasu said. After this incident, what kind of response measures do you have? Come here, Jomei lightly beckoned. Lin Zaiasu walked with her to the window. From here, looking over, seems there are some changes on the top of Tashin. Jomei explained to him. The ancient tower is still a secret for the time being. Outsiders know nothing about it. Based on the principles of confidentiality and protection, a Tashin construction plan was formulated by the county government. See those walls? The walls seem like just walls at first glance. Indeed, they are walls. However, the foundation of the walls is very deep with high engineering standards. Underneath reinforced concrete, the ancient tower is completely sealed on 5 sides, which 5 sides? Northeast, southeast, west, and top. The walls penetrate into the mountain and extend more than 30 meters, with concrete floorboards as thick as 10 meters. Even in a nuclear blast, the ancient tower inside would remain unaffected. Lin Zaiasu nodded gently. There's no other way for now. At this stage, the ancient tower is protected by a super construction to prevent human damage. Your police office's primary work right now is to prevent enemy damage during construction. Yes, the police office is just a temporary structure, Jomei said. Once all the construction is completed, the police office will be withdrawn, and I, Jomei, will sooner or later return to my specialty and earn 3 shimmering stars on my shoulder to blind your dog's eyes. Lin Zaiasu glanced sideways. The skills you learned from me, right? You should credit me for at least half of those stars on your shoulder, right? And you still have the nerve to flaunt them in front of me. Credit for you? It has nothing to do with you, Jomei said. What I tell others is, I learned ancient martial arts from Miao Rulan, not you. Remember, you can't accidentally leak this to others. I've heard of betraying ancestors, not wiping out the grace of a master. Why? Why? Because your reputation in Fengcheng could kill fish in Yishui River. Dare to bind with you. Once bound with you, how could I, a dignified superstar in the police world, still have face to step on Zhai Xing platform? Lin Zaiasu sweating all over. Is my reputation really that bad? And there's really bad. Keeping a young wife at home, planting 2 little flowers in the detective agency, and going on a honeymoon with a billion-dollar heiress from the provincial capital. Young people in Fengcheng see you as an idol, but that doesn't mean your reputation isn't stinky. At least my mom has told me 100 times, being with a scumbag like you requires tying my belt with steel wire. Meaning, from now on I can't take your clothes off ever again. Jomei gave him a sour look. You still want to take off my clothes? Look, these are police uniforms. Do you think you can just take off a police uniform? Lin Zaiasu sighed. I was originally thinking of enhancing your rejuvenation secret technique, so next time if a master comes again, you wouldn't end up in mortal danger, but forget it, I'll leave, so as not to ruin your reputation. He reached the door of the office. Jomei's voice called out from behind, Wait. Lin Zaiasu turned around. Jomei's face was full of mixed emotions, extremely conflicted. Rejuvenation secret technique. Can it still be enhanced? Of course, under my guidance, Rulan has improved much more than before. Do we need to take off clothes? Yes, much more intimate than the first time. I'll do it. Isn't this inappropriate? Your mom said that the belt needs to be tied with steel wire. Even with steel wire binding, I have pliers here. Jomei gritted her teeth. It's almost mealtime now. Why don't we eat first, have some tea after the meal, and then you give your mom a call for advice? Skip a meal, it won't kill you. Jomei extended her hand and the police uniform was already peeled off. The next moment, she waved her hand, and the curtains of the office were completely drawn. Whatever happened in the office, no one knew. About half an hour later, Lin Zaiasu leisurely exited the office and descended from Tashin. If anyone sensed anything between him and Jomei, it was probably only Miao Rulan. She felt little C was being impulsive, as if he had played some stimulating daytime game. The next day, everything was peaceful. 3 days passed without incident. The 5th day. In the early morning, Lin Zaiasu received a message. Upon receiving this message, he got up and went to Tashin Lake. At this time of year, Tashin Lake showcased its most beautiful appearance. Flowers bloomed in abundance, tender willows danced in the breeze, the lake water gently rippled, as soft as a spring dream. Saintess Kyan Ling removed her fingers from the gyukin strings on her lap, her soulful eyes gazing through the morning mist. In the fog, Lin Zaiasu walked leisurely forward. In his hand was a bamboo tube. The bamboo tube was quite elegant. He extended his hand and passed this bamboo tube to Saintess Kyan Ling. "This is tea produced by Tashin. My mom handmade it for you to try." Saintess Kyan Ling received it, and upon flipping the bamboo tube, 2 lines of poetry carved on it came into view. At the temple in spring mist, the tea drum beats. At sunset, flags of wine rise on the pavilion. Saintess Kyan Ling softly read. "It seems these lines are newly carved." Lin Zaiasu smiled slightly. "I just carved them." Elegant poetic lines packaged with local tea. Indeed, vulgarity is the embodiment of elegance. Saintess Kyan Ling smiled slightly. "Did you come today just to bring tea?" Lin Zaiasu sat down at the tea table. "Of course not just that, mainly to tell you something. All 31 people on the list have been captured." All 31 people on the list have been captured. Just a sentence, no more than 12 words. However, it was an unbelievable large-scale operation. Significant and far-reaching. These 31 people, spread across various fronts, were either carefully nurtured by the 9-headed snake or turned at a great cost. Brought by Saintess Kyan Ling and passed into Qianlong through Lin Zaiasu's hands. In just 5 days, they were completely captured. Saintess Kyan Ling smiled. "So, the promise we made that day, I have fulfilled it." "Yes, I have to thank you." "Do you really want to thank me?" Saintess Kyan Ling raised her gaze and poured him a cup of tea. "Sincerely thank you." Lin Zaiasu took the teacup and raised it slightly towards her. "If you really want to thank me, how about giving me something?" "What?" "A drop of tear." Lin Zaiasu's teacup stopped abruptly at his mouth. "A drop of tear." "Yes," Saintess Kyan Ling said. "The heavenly star tear condensed on your blood tower." The heavenly star tear condensed on the blood tower. Lin Zaiasu's heart slightly skipped a beat. This tear is not ordinary. It was the tear nurtured when he comprehended swordsmanship at the old site of Li Ren Valley, stimulated by ancient sword intent. This tear marked his transition from the observing earth realm to the observing heaven realm. Once this tear formed, his combat power advanced significantly. For a cultivator, every step is so arduous, especially for someone like him who is almost obsessively pursuing perfection. Every step is as significant as Mount Tai. Is it difficult to give up? Saintess Kyan Ling's eyes narrowed slightly. Lin Zaiasu's finger suddenly lifted. At his fingertip, a drop of crystal. As soon as this crystal appeared, it was like unveiling a strange window, opening it, and the entire spring scene within leaping onto his fingertip. This crystal droplet was the heavenly star tear he painstakingly condensed on the blood tower. Saintess Kyan Ling was stunned. "You are actually willing." "Willing? That's nonsense," Lin Zaiasu said. "But since you want it, I have to give it." "Actually, you have a reason not to," Saintess Kyan Ling said. "The list I brought is part of our original agreement. There is no debt between us at this moment." "No, I owe you." Chapter 321. Chapter 321. Returning you 1 drop of heavenly star tears. "Owed what?" "Half a month ago, that intervention of yours on Tashin," Lin Zaiasu said. "If you hadn't intervened, Zhou Mei might have died, and Tashin as well as Feng Cheng beneath it. I'm not sure if they would still look the same as today." The eyes of Saintess Kyan Ling lightly flickered. "So, this hard-earned heavenly star tear of yours is to repay a favor." "Throughout history, repaying a favor has always been the most difficult," Lin Zaiasu replied. "People all say that you, Feng Cheng's detective, are the most astute person in the world, but today, you seem to have changed. Astuteness lies in strategy and calculation, but there are things in this world that cannot be compromised. Righteousness cannot be compromised." Lin Zaiasu said. Lin Zaiasu, am just an ordinary person, full of flaws and notorious deeds. To talk about life's great principles may be a bit laughable, but at least I have one principle. After eating, I try not to break the pot. After gaining benefits, I try not to forget righteousness. I can tell you have a deep attachment to this land beneath your feet. Born here, raised here, it's probably just a sense of homeland attachment. Born here, raised here, homeland and native soul emotions. Saintess Kyan Ling gazed beyond the distant firmament and smiled gently. "Since you sincerely give, I will accept." Her fingertip lightly touched Lin Zaiasu's fingertip. The heavenly star tear from Lin Zaiasu transferred onto her fingertip and in the next moment disappeared without a trace. Lin Zaiasu suddenly felt his cultivation level drop. Once this tear was severed from him, He fell from one star shining sky back to a simple, blood tower realm. Saying he wasn't disappointed would be a lie. However, he also needed to convey a truth to this ancient great power. Modern society may not be your home, but as long as you do something for this world, it can reward you with enough goodwill. A single heavenly star tier is extremely valuable. At least Lin Zaiasu would rather lose 1 million than lose this drop of heavenly star tier. However, if he could use this drop of heavenly star tier to win over an ancient great power, that deal would be hugely profitable. Saintess Kyan Ling smiled lightly. There is an ancient cultivation law called the breaking law. It was the extraordinary path for the rise of ancient heavenly prides. Would you like to know? Lin Zaiasu's heart skipped a beat as he suddenly looked up. Saintess Kyan Ling said, the core key to this law is, the laboriously cultivated heavenly star tier, discard it for destruction, recultivate for establishment. This is, no breaking, no establishing, break and then establish. No breaking, no establishing, break and then establish. Lin Zaiasu's heart shook violently. After breaking is it stronger? Saintess Kyan Ling said, heavenly star tiers, the first drop is skin, the second drop is flesh, the third drop is bone. Taking the skin is the ordinary path, taking the flesh is the heavenly pride path, taking the bone is the god and demon path. She elaborated further. Lin Zaiasu seemed to open a window on his cultivation path. The heavenly star tier is known as the ladder from the peeping earth realm to the peeping heaven realm. Everyone wishes to reach the peeping heaven state as quickly as possible. Very few people consider that these heavenly star tiers also have levels. The first drop of heavenly star tier is merely skin. Taking the skin can also achieve the peeping heaven state. But that is just a trashy peeping heaven. If a person with great determination resolutely abandons this heavenly star tier born in the blood tower and recultivates it, the second heavenly star tier condensed is not just skin, it is flesh. The peeping heaven achieved in this way is at the heavenly pride level. This was the cultivation method for nurturing heavenly prides in ancient times. In this end of Dharma era, it is completely absent. During the end of Dharma era, even the cultivation levels were not fully understood. Who would know that heavenly star tiers could also be broken and established? This is a barrier in insight. There is another obstacle that exists in cultivation itself. In ancient times, all major sects actually knew of this law, but still only heavenly prides could step into the door of breaking and establishing. Why? Because the heavenly star tier cannot be broken just because you want to, nor can it be recultivated just because you want to. The first cultivation of skin heavenly star tier itself is not easy. How many people build towers for decades, yet cannot condense a heavenly star tier? Why? Simply because only a flawless blood tower can form a heavenly star tier. Some people's blood tower itself has flaws. No matter how hard they try, it cannot be perfect. Thus they cannot condense a heavenly star tier at all. After abandoning this first heavenly star tier and recultivating, the difficulty factor increases tenfold. It requires a full understanding of your blood tower. Your true chi must flow freely, fully penetrating the blood tower in a moment, to then cultivate a flesh heavenly star tier. If one's insight is insufficient and one's foundation is incomplete, breaking is easy. But after breaking, if one cannot establish, they have played themselves into a dead end. The person is wasted. Saintess Kyan Ling smiled gently. Your blood tower foundation is stable enough, and your insight is extraordinary. I believe you can condense a flesh heavenly star tier again. Walk this heavenly pride path. This is why I accept your heavenly star tier with peace of mind. Lin Zaiasu breathed lightly. Flesh heavenly star tier. Why not bone heavenly star tier? The path of breaking and establishing has 3 paths. Skin path, flesh path, bone path. Saintess Kyan Ling gently shook her head. Bone star. This path is too difficult, too many variables within. It's extremely easy to fall short. I suggest you play it safe. Tell me about that path, how exactly to do it. Saintess Kyan Ling spoke. Bone star is 10 or even 100 times more difficult compared to flesh star. Its requirements are almost abnormal. It requires control over true chi as if it were an arm's command. The body's meridians must flow seamlessly in one breath, and also have the most robust spiritual control, with intricate microcontrol over every cell in the body. This is fundamentally beyond what someone without a primordial spirit can achieve. Even possessing a primordial spirit may not guarantee success. Its specific method is three phrases: discard skin heavenly star, refine flesh heavenly star, achieve bone heavenly star. In other words, the first skin heavenly star is abandoned. The second flesh heavenly star is integrated into the whole body. The third bone heavenly star is the cornerstone for advancing to peeping heaven. Lin Zaiasu frowned slightly. In the world, high risk is often accompanied by high reward. If successful, what would it be like? It would give birth to some kind of uncertain special physique, Saintess Kyan Ling said. In my clan, there are many ancient books. I often read them when I was young. These books have records. From ancient times to the present, those who have cultivated to great success by this method have given birth to 7 different physiques, including divine demon body, chaos body, green lotus saint body, great success saint body, yin-yang demon body, fiery flame dominator body, and swallowing heaven demon body. Each physique, upon reaching maturity, possesses incomprehensible might, even able to transcend the heavenly Tao. Lin Zaiasu was gently enchanted. Today, in the end of Dharma era, very few know about ancient secrets. But Saintess Kyan Ling is an ancient great power. She naturally assumed Lin Zaiasu didn't know, so she elaborately gave him an exposition. My clan has many ancient books. Lin Zaiasu's heart was significantly moved. Abandoning this heavenly star tier was based on the intention to win over this ancient great power. Since this step had already been taken, he decided to push forward in an even crazier direction. Chapter 322. Chapter 322, Breaking and Rebuilding. The Saintess Kyan Ling seemed to see through his thoughts. There's a kind of madness in your eyes that's a bit unsettling. Personally, I suggest you be cautious. Even in the ancient great world where gods and demons coexist, the heavenly pride of the flesh star does not disgrace any heavenly pride. Be careful not to let dissatisfaction ruin your path. Okay, I will be cautious, Lin Zaiasu said. I'm going to leave now. Do you need any living supplies? Want me to deliver some to you? The Saintess Kyan Ling shook her head. No need for living supplies. I can order takeout. Speaking of which, you guys in Dazia, this is really something Luoba State can't keep up with. You order takeout and when it's delivered, it's actually still hot. Damn, if it's not hot, can it still be called takeout? You country bumpkin. Lin Zaiasu stood up to leave, walked to the door and suddenly turned back. Don't you find something a bit strange? What? The Saintess Kyan Ling didn't understand. I suddenly feel a bit close to you. A look of disdain slowly grew on the Saintess Kyan Ling's face. I've heard of your notorious amorous reputation. Don't try that game with me. I think our relationship should stay normal for it to last longer. She probably misunderstood the meaning. Maybe she couldn't comprehend the true meaning of the word close, as Lin Zaiasu had said. Lin Zaiasu had a clear understanding himself. When he left the lakeside cabin, he could clearly sense his once heavenly star tier. He seemed to have some mysterious connection with this tier. He could even sense that the Saintess Kyan Ling placed this tier in some unspeakable location. Where is this place? It's her gate of life. This is really, damn. He could sense her, but she apparently couldn't sense him. Leaving Tashin Lake, Lin Zaiasu waved to call a taxi heading home. The taxi traveled 10 miles. He could still sense the heavenly star tier until 20 miles away. He couldn't sense it anymore. Back at the lakeside, the Saintess Kyan Ling adjusted her sitting position, adopting a more comfortable posture on the deck chair, closing her eyes, and her primordial spirit focused on this heavenly star tier, her heart slightly rippling. There was a component of excitement and a strong sense of shyness. This body was prepared by the Naren's family to carry the will of the ancestors. Everyone knows the spirit clan is the purest race. To carry the will of the ancestors, Catherine sacrificed many things, including the open sexuality of the West, which she had not experienced. This physical body is a special case in Western society. Thus, she was so sensitive. But today, something belonging to a man was placed at the entrance of this membrane, emitting a wonderful aura. What's this like? It's like after doing it, a man left behind a seed. Close, perhaps this indeed calls for closeness, the Saintess Kyan Ling muttered, gathering all her spirits to sense this rare world-shaking opportunity. This heavenly star tier exceeded her imagination. It truly contained the life law. However, this life law is not complete, it's fragmented. Even if fragmented, it's a unique opportunity in this end of Dharma era. She devoted herself to the full comprehension. The wood vitality throughout her body diffused inch by inch. Behind her, unknown when, tender willow tree swayed gently. Around her cabin, flowers were 10 times more luxuriant than elsewhere. People passing by noticed, and with a cry of surprise, a few girls took photos and posted them in their moments. In Dazia, countless events occur every day. In the southwest, a recent event had occurred. Qianlong mobilized and destroyed a station. The hovercar returned, flying in the air with 2 women inside. One woman's face was excited. She was none other than Huya Li Diandian. The other woman was her trainer, Qianlong's 9th-ranked Zhu Ying. Huya had an expression of excitement. "Master, how would you evaluate my performance in this action?" During the fight, every punch connected, it's no exaggeration. Zhu Ying put on the dragon eye glasses, appearing even more refined. "But why did you cook their dog?" Huya was stunned. "You know. Even if I didn't see you cook their dog, my nose is not just a decoration. It can still smell the dog meat scent." Zhu Ying cast her a knowing glance. "Why did you cook the dog?" "Well, that." Huya's eyes spun desperately. "Do I have to pay compensations?" "Compensate your head," Zhu Ying yelled. "When will you understand that during missions, an unnecessary action can sometimes lead to mission failure? When will you realize that eating and drinking will never make you great?" Huya had no words to refute. She couldn't tell Zhu Ying that she practices swallowing heaven without leakage, needing to devour all exotic beasts. Though last night's dog was proven to be just an ordinary genetically mutated dog, definitely not one of the 5 elements, however, before eating it, could she be sure? No. Thus, in accordance with the day's guidance from Taoist Lu Yun, eat first and talk later. Yet this bizarre swallowing heaven theory is best kept in the dark. She took the scolding helplessly. Zhu Ying sighed lightly after the scolding. "Diandian, you are currently at a crucial point for gold medal ranking, needing to establish big achievements. You need to demonstrate your exact precision to have hopes of getting your gold medal number as forward as possible. You probably don't know, Xinyu, who became a gold medal almost at the same time as you, might directly be among the top 100 gold medals." Huya was quite shocked. Xinyu, her top 100 gold medal. Just as Xinyu pays attention to Huya, Huya also pays attention to Xinyu. Because how could one say about both of them? Very alike. Alike in what? Skills are the strong point, everything else is a shortcoming. Both pass the probation almost one after another, currently at a critical hotspot. After probation in the half-year period, it's akin to company trial period. You only have gold medal honor, but no gold medal number. When is the gold medal number issued? After the trial period. The trial period is the time for their performance. Good performance, the gold medal number is ahead. Poor performance, though still having gold medals, the number might end up beyond 3,000, 5,000. Is the gold medal number useful? Its usefulness is huge. Many tasks are naturally only available to those with a more forward gold medal. People in the top 100 don't worry about having no task to take, unable to earn points. Because when king-level individuals or mysterious figures receive a task, they sometimes choose helpers. Their attention always focuses on the front half of the gold medal list, occasionally sending you a notice. You grab the corner of a heavenly king's clothes, earning points others can't earn in years. While those ranked behind on the gold medal list struggle. No one leads, they can only choose the leftover tasks. For example, undercover missions. Nobody wants to handle undercover missions. It's frustrating. Especially people like Huya Xinyu, they are inherently unsuitable for such tasks. So ever since the trial period began, both have been competing remotely. Lightly spoken by Zhu Ying, it stimulated Huya a lot. "Yes, indeed, she just completed a super task," Zhu Ying said. "Super task? How super?" 31 nine-headed snake bosses, the highest level of 2, the lowest level is 4. She captured them all in one fell swoop. Her points soared directly to the top among you group of gold medal trial members. Chapter 323. Chapter 323. Huya's predicament request for monthly ticket. Huya's eyes widened. How is it possible? The 9-headed snake's layout in Daxia is extremely meticulous, and anyone not meticulous enough can't survive under Qianlong's iron-fisted strikes. Therefore, it's extremely difficult to dig out a leader. Yet Xinyu dug out 31. People of Qianlong can borrow resources. Zhu Ying slowly removed the dragon eye. Actually, the resources this time should have been yours. What do you mean? Do you know who provided her with the list? Your childhood friend. Little Su, Huya was shocked. Your little friend is remarkable. Zhu Ying slowly lifted her gaze. 10 days ago, what he did was even more sensational. He provided resources to the Blood Trace King, aimed at Kun Kang, directly facilitating the awarding of this year's Hidden Dragon Medal. Blood Trace King, Hidden Dragon Medal, wasn't that last year? Last year's Hidden Dragon Medal was awarded due to the hunt of the White-Clothed King. This year's Hidden Dragon Medal, if no accident happens, will be due to the blockade of Kun Kang, Zhu Ying added. Both times the Hidden Dragon Medal was awarded because of him. How rare is the Hidden Dragon Medal? It is awarded for the greatest achievement throughout Qianlong in 1 year. The medal is something every heavenly king dreams of. Twice in a row, it was all because of him. This is her childhood friend. This was the man she once promised within her heart. Last year she joined Qianlong, and her path diverged from his. He is in the secular world, while she is no longer within the secular world. If there are still lingering ties in the secular world, at least 2 parts are him. After becoming reserve, she returned to Tashin. She saw him. She wanted to draw her youth in a wild way, but ultimately never truly made a mark. Leaving Tashin then, she felt regret in her heart. She thought her path with his might never intersect again. Feeling a bit conflicted, are you? Zhu Ying seemed to see through her thoughts. He doesn't know I'm with Qianlong, Huya said softly. No, Zhu Ying said, he knows. Huya's eyes suddenly lifted. Zhu Ying said, he befriended Chang Yi and Xinyu. Xinyu speaks in the same manner as you. Can you expect her to keep a secret? She must have told him your identity long ago. During the Ning City incident when we were at a loss dealing with the Earthfall beast, he suddenly appeared. I suspect he wasn't just there by chance for a case, but came specifically for you. Mentioning Ning City, Huya's thoughts jumped to the clever plan to attract the Earthfall beast. Her heart was in turmoil. He once said something meaningful. What? He said, perhaps when you turn back on your path you might still see me. Look, he has already hinted to you, yet you chose not to understand. Zhu Ying gently shook her head. As the saying goes, the mentor brings you to the door. Cultivation is up to the individual. I've successfully led you to the gold medal path, but beyond this I can't help much. Let him give you a hand. Master, actually I don't care about achieving smaller numbers truly, Huya said. Zhu Ying gently shook her head. To fight for the country, leaving aside fame, at any time this is a correct way of thinking. But the current situation is extremely complex. Sometimes, only when you are on a higher platform can you access deeper secrets and truly play your role to the fullest. This is called real within virtual. All right, after finishing what's on hand, I'll meet him, Huya said. The view returns to Old Tashin village in Fengcheng. Lin Ziasu walked home leisurely. Upon returning home, he saw a pleasing scene. Little Yi rolled up her sleeves doing laundry. The aroma of food drifted in from the kitchen. When she saw him enter, she happily ran over. You're back. Picked up a towel to dust off his clothes. Just like a gentle and considerate wife. Mom and Dad came back side by side from outside. Seeing this scene, their old faces beamed with happiness. Sire heard you went on a business trip to the northwest, Dad said. Yeah, just returned. This time you must stay at home for a few days. Ever since little Yi arrived, you've been running all over the place, Mom said. All right, I'll stay directly for 10 days to half a month. Won't go anywhere. Really? Mom was overjoyed. Little Yi is listening. If you don't keep your word, she'll deal with you. Little Yi beside laughed as if she understood what deal meant. Lin Ziasu really fulfilled his words. Stayed peacefully at home. But nobody knew his stay wasn't just for little Yi's feelings. Not just to ease Mom's heart. Speaking of which, elders are like this. When the son stays home every day, parents feel uneasy. They'll find ways to urge him out. But when the son really doesn't come home all year, parents aren't at ease either, always hoping the son stays at home more, especially when there's a well-behaved daughter-in-law at home. Lin Ziasu's real aim is only one, martial training. Day and night, he was in the second-floor room. Little Yi occasionally came up to take a look, bringing him some tea. No need for Mom to understand too much. Simply seeing her daughter-in-law's smiling face was the happiest thing. Son shut in the room doing what? If he played games for a month, it'd be no problem. As long as daughter-in-law is happy. Money is certainly good, but the son earned $500,000 last year alone. Need to struggle every day. Nothing beats nurturing feelings with daughter-in-law during leisure, maybe through nurturing. one could hold a chubby grandson by New Year. Lin Zaiasu finally understood the benefits of a robotic wife. That's he just focuses on his own things without needing to consider her. No need to coax, no need for ceremony, no need for companionship, no need to worry about words and actions. If you change to a real wife, just try. If she doesn't make a fuss, consider yourself lucky. On the third night, Lin Zaiasu's eyes slowly opened. His blood tower once again condensed a heavenly star tear. When this tear formed, Lin Zaiasu felt a difference. It seemed this heavenly star tear was closely linked to his blood tower, almost as if it was part of his body. The fallen realm was regained. True chi flowed smoothly, everything felt right, and he had a sense at this moment he was strong, stronger than he ever was at the same stage. This is the boon brought by the heavenly pride level heavenly star tier. Now facing a tough question, should he shatter this heavenly star tier and merge it within himself? Breaking it yields two outcomes. First, he successfully acquires the third tier heavenly star tier, the bone star, thereby formally stepping onto the cultivation path of ancient gods and demons. Second, break the heavenly star tier, fail to build anew. Once unable to form anew, he loses the path forward. His cultivation will forever be stuck at peeping earth early stage, unable to have even one heavenly star ascend the sky. Saintess Kyan Ling had advised him not to be reckless. This era is the end of Dharma era, cultivators are scarce. To have a heavenly star of heavenly pride level is decent, there's no need to gamble. She is an ancient great power. Her perspective is vast. She has a habitual way of thinking, accustomed to viewing issues with her own insights. Her high perspective can only view heavenly pride level individuals. If she advised against aiming too high, it's best to heed her advice. However, Lin Zaiasu felt an obscure urge within. Chapter 324. Chapter 324. Just do it. Additional update, request for monthly tickets. In one's life, sometimes the opportunity to choose comes only once. If you miss this time, you can never return. How about taking a gamble? But making this decision seems quite difficult. Little Yi's eyes followed him as if wanting to ask him, do you have some trouble? However, within the robot's program, most of what is recorded is passive responses, not active questioning, so she didn't ask. Lin Zaiasu slowly directed his gaze towards her. Little Yi, can I ask you something? How do you view risk and reward? Do you mean the definition? No, everyone understands definitions. I'm asking you, if there is something with the potential for great gain, but if it fails, you're trapped forever unable to move, does this kind of risk count as foolish? I'm a robot, I don't make conceptual judgments based on hypothetical questions. Little Yi smiled. You have 100 billion neurons and 1 trillion brain cells, while I only have 1,000 neuron processors. My brain is actually much worse than yours. Lin Zaiasu was stunned. After a long time, he gently exhaled. Now that you mention it, it's true. People often describe someone's brain as being just like a computer when it's functioning well. In fact, humans have 100 billion neurons, whereas computers generally only have thousands of neuron processors. They are not on the same magnitude at all. The human brain is actually much stronger than computers. But why do computers seem stronger than human brains in many aspects? Because all of the computer's neurons are working, whereas in the human brain, the vast majority of neurons remain dormant, answered Little Yi. Lin Zaiasu slowly raised his gaze. That's right. Though there are few neurons in computers, they are all online. Whereas human brain neurons are numerous, but some still loaf around, some remain dormant. Better to have 3,000 elite soldiers than 100,000 mediocre ones. People are like this, and so is the blood tower. If it's impossible to activate all units of the blood tower, even if the tower is as high as 10,000 feet, what good is it? Go for it. Little Yi nodded. I'll get a towel. She turned and went to the bathroom, grabbed a towel and laid it down. Looking up, she was a bit dazed. Lin Zaiasu took a deep breath and sat cross-legged on the ground. Aren't you going to do it? I'm ready, Little Yi said. Oh my God, you, a robot, actually understood the word do so elaborately. I highly suspect that certain colors have been implanted in your system. Lin Zaiasu shook his head lightly. Don't speak, just sleep peacefully. This do is not that do. Lin Zaiasu began his grand adventure. He shattered the flesh star, painstakingly condensed after 3 days and nights. When the heavenly star shattered, his entire spiritual power concentrated intensely, like 10,000 tentacles, integrating the shattered star throughout his body. In an instant, his mind went blank, feeling a strange sensation. All cells in his body seemed to simultaneously soak in warm water. An extremely comfortable feeling. However, his recently promoted cultivation realm dropped back down. That's the manifestation of easily breaking something. It was truly easy. However, the true difficult challenge was in the next step. Recondensing heavenly star tears. This time, condensation was not easy for anyone. Even if Lin Zaiasu's human Tao orchid heart had heaven-defying understanding, even if his foundations were incredibly strong, even if he had heavenly Tao primordial spirit and incomparable spiritual power, subdivine. 7 days and nights passed without any progress. During this 7-day period, he followed a simple routine. Room, restaurant, riverside. In the restaurant, he spent no more than half an hour a day, strolling by the riverside for an hour, observing the revival of spring, watching flowers bloom and fade, and seeing the emerald river quietly flow by, appreciating the miraculous creations of nature. Also feeling the difference in this body. Yes, this drop of shattered flesh star tears integrated into his body is for physical enhancement. His physique has been significantly enhanced. The pebbles in the river were easily crushed in his palm. If it was done using ancient martial true qi, any ancient martial cultivator could achieve this. However, he did not use true qi, relying solely on physical strength. That means even now, even if he shatters his danshan, relying solely on physical strength, he could rival ordinary genetic people. This is the transformation brought about by the fusion of the heavenly star with the flesh. But this joy coexists with another worry. The worry is, his bone heavenly star is still without any clue. If unable to condense the bone heavenly star, his cultivation path becomes a dead end. He strives not to ponder the right and wrong of this decisive method, for it is already a one-way street. Besides success, he has no other choice. In a blink of an eye, he had been back home for more than 10 days. Time moved from March 17th, when he left Kunkang, to the beginning of April. On the evening of April 1st, Old Tashan village appeared silent. Lin Zaiasu, after harnessing his spiritual power with full strength for more than 10 days, seemed to have broken through some bottleneck. He felt as if he could clearly see every cell in his body. Inside the blood tower, all structures, all connections, he could also see clearly. He channeled the true qi within him, beginning a comprehensive transmission based on the tip of the blood tower under his control. The blood tower seemed to have lit up. First the tower body brightened, then each main meridian, and eventually the minor meridians throughout the body. With a gentle buzzing sound, all through his body, everything connected as one. The blood tower seemed like a nuclear power plant with electricity. A layer of faint silver light covered the entire blood tower. Under the condensation of this faint silver light, a drop of silver dew was about to fall. Lin Zaiasu concentrated his primordial spirit and spiritual power intensely on this drop of dew. For an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, the dew dropped and rose into the sky. At the moment the dew rose, his true qi flowed through him entirely, and the world inside him seemed to suddenly become incomparably bright. Lin Zaiasu opened his eyes. A smile appeared on his face. The final step of breaking down and building anew. He succeeded. His physical body significantly strengthened. His cultivation realm returned to one-star shining sky when he left Kunkang. It seemed as though he took a roundabout journey back along his cultivation path. But in fact, it was far from so. In the same cultivation realm, he felt he was much stronger than he was before. Additionally, there was another surprise. That was the lack of progress in subdivine skill, which actually improved. Based on the records within the subdivine secret technique, he had once self-examined when contacting with the elderly sub-god artifact. Inside Saintess Qian Ling's coffin, his spiritual prowess level was approximately level 18. What does level 18 mean? Compared to ordinary people, it is indeed considerably stronger. Normal people typically score around 3 to 5. But there's still a big gap to the starting point for real application of the subdivine skill. The true starting point of applying the subdivine skill is level 25. What can level 25 do? It can read people's consciousness through contact. This is incredibly formidable. Lin Zaiasu deeply understands that in the modern environment, if he can read people's consciousness, then it becomes a nuclear-level weapon in the espionage battlefield. Imagine those 9-headed snake individuals, each of them skilled in counter-surveillance. Through interrogations, it's quite difficult to extract anything useful. Using subdivine skill interrogation, you won't worry about them not confessing. Capture 1, lead out a nest, successive strikes, snowballing even. It could easily destroy the entire 9-headed snake system. Chapter 325. Chapter 325. May 1, another ecliptic change day. But Lin Zaiasu was far from reaching the starting point of level 25. Moreover, he couldn't find any method to advance the subdivine skill. Now he seemed to have grasped a bit of the trick. An ultimate squeeze regarding heavenly star tears. An extreme adventure regarding the future path. His subdivine skill ran at full power for over 10 days, breaking through level 1. Rising from level 18 to level 19. Great, next, let's perform this path. Using the skin heavenly star tears to charm women. At this stage, it could only be targeted charm. Using the meat heavenly star tears to strengthen the body. Using the bone heavenly star tears to forge his own cultivation path. Incidentally, step by step elevating the subdivine skill. The other day, he thought his path might be cut off by his own play. Today, he feels the future is quite promising. This is the charm of great adventures. It's already early morning. Outside the window, faint belly white of the fish emerges. On the bed, little Yi's belly is also quite white. Some say a man in the morning is a creature with relatively high levels of testosterone secretion. Some also say when a man crosses a difficult barrier, testosterone secretion will also accelerate. Perhaps this is true. At least, Lin Zaiasu finds the white belly on the bed and the towel under little Yi's bottom very tempting. However, he still forced himself out of the room. His dad, being older, gets up very early, has already woken up, picking up a hoe preparing to head out. Seeing Lin Zaiasu, he stopped. Why did you get up so early? There's something at the detective agency. I must leave. It's about time you left, Dad said. Your mom always says you're not at home, which makes her uneasy. But you staying home for more than 10 days makes me uneasy. Focus on your career. A man should have aspirations everywhere. Dad, you really understand me. Lin Zaiasu laughed. Tell my mom that I probably won't be coming back for a while. No worries, the house has me. Lin Zaiasu left the courtyard gate and embarked on the road to the county town. Turning past the mountain corner at the village entrance, he got onto the mountainous path to Liu Lin Temple. This season is probably when Liu Lin Temple's scenery is at its best. Flowers bloom everywhere, the spring breeze gently blows. The red sun rises, Yishui ripples. Entering Liu Lin Temple from afar, he could hear the unique rhythm of the Beijing opera and the classic lyrics. Peach leaves pointy, willow leaves fill the sky. Lin Zaiasu pushed open the wooden door of the Taoist temple, seeing a scene of extreme leisure. Second uncle reclining on a deck chair, holding a teapot, with a cigarette in his hand. The kettle beside was boiling with a sizzling sound. The unique rhythm of the Beijing opera emanated from the phone beside, in this morning, distinctly conveying a sense of comfort and leisure. Second uncle, aren't you too idle? Lin Zaiasu said. Second uncle's eyes suddenly opened, his hand trembled, and a long piece of ash fell on his pants. Boy, are you a cat? I didn't even notice you come in. You're immersed in the flavor of Beijing opera, couldn't hear the footsteps of the mundane world. Lin Zaiasu laughed. Second uncle stretched out his hand and switched off the phone. Have you had breakfast? Whether I've eaten or not doesn't matter, anyway you've already eaten, Lin Zaiasu said. Second uncle, is there a day you've calculated? What? The next ecliptic change day, this year's May Day. Second uncle's expression changed. May Day, the next ecliptic change day. Lin Zaiasu frowned. Second uncle, aren't you capable of calculating the ecliptic change day? Didn't you calculate it? No, the main thing is, anyway you're more accurate than I am with you calculating, why should I bother my brain? Second uncle scratched his head, a bit embarrassed. Lin Zaiasu was speechless. He finally understood why his second uncle could be so idle. He's the type of person who's lazy when someone else can take responsibility. Of course, it indirectly proved that calculating the heavenly Tao mysterious mechanism isn't that easy. Even for the lowest level ecliptic change day, just calculating it takes a long time, needing to observe the celestial phenomena and compare it with the quirky Taoist mechanisms inside the Taoist sect. Second uncle calculating this is actually quite taxing on him. Previously he had no choice but to do it. Now, with Lin Zaiasu, who calculates in 10 minutes better than his 3 straight days and nights, his laziness seemed quite justified. Yet what moved Lin Zaiasu more was that his second uncle directly said to him, "You come over to guard the temple that day." Not only was he lazy to calculate, but he was also lazy to deal with it. The reason was easy to find. "Anyway, you're better than me in everything. You guarding here is more useful than me in case of any incidents." This Lin Zaiasu directly agreed. Today he went to Liulin Temple just to inform second uncle about this time node, because he still had some things to do, and in case of unforeseen force that made him unable to return, second uncle could at least have a response. Of course, this is only if there's an unforeseen force. Otherwise, at that point in time, he must return to Liulin Temple. The ecliptic change day holds exceptional significance to him. The first 2 ecliptic change days brought him the heavenly Tao Wisdom Eye and the human Tao Orchid Heart. In fact, they also brought the heavenly Tao Primordial Spirit. Each item was his ballast stone. How could he miss the 3rd ecliptic change day? The matter of the ecliptic change day was settled by second uncle with one sentence, without further ado. He lifted the teapot to pour Lin Zaiasu a cup of tea, then eagerly informed Lin Zaiasu of one thing. He, Li Layar, is now someone who earns a salary. What does that mean? The Taoist temple was brought under the management of the Civil Affairs Department, and as the temple guardian, he has a salary. 1,500 a month. Although this salary is relatively low, second uncle was excited. He's someone who earns a state salary. Previously, he didn't have a salary. The rice and oil he consumed were actually grown by second aunt, and as a man, apart from helping during the busy farming seasons, feeding water when second aunt was thirsty, and giving injections, he hardly did anything for the family. Second uncle felt guilty towards second aunt, but now it's better. His payroll card handed over to second aunt made him feel invigorated. Why is that? Second uncle didn't understand, but Lin Zaiasu did. Qianlong knew about Liulin Temple. Once Qianlong knew, corresponding arrangements would be made. These arrangements would be implemented through local government departments, but the instructions came from Qianlong. Liulin Temple is such. So is the ancient tower in Tashan. Lin Zaiasu left Liulin Temple, descended to the road, and the 10-mile journey passed in a twinkle. He once again arrived at Tashan Lake. Within 10 jang of the small wooden house, he heard the sound of a gyukin. This music was vastly different from the modern world's highly melodious music. At least Lin Zaiasu couldn't discern the melodious charm. All he could hear was vastness. Yes, an unparalleled vastness. Seemingly a sigh at the peak of a mountain in the barren hills, with a hint of loneliness and a touch of melancholy. The music was light and unobtrusive, not disturbing those spring outing along Tashan Lake or people on their way, but for Lin Zaiasu listening, it was quite emotional. Was she lonely? From the grand era of an ancient heavenly pride stepping into a blood coffin, sealed for countless tens of thousands of years. Returning to the sunlight, the world was no longer the world it once was. No more old friends, no more family, no more tribe, not even enemies left. In this vast universe, only her. This sense of loneliness could only transform into the sound of the zither, with its ungraspable melody etched on this tranquil Tashan Lake. Chapter 326, Chapter 326, The Flower of the Wood Rules. The wooden cabin was gently knocked. Saintess Qian Ling seemed to take a step back from her distant, unreachable inner world. The sound of the zither abruptly stopped. She took a step to the door. With a gentle pull, the door opened. Standing outside was Lin Zaiasu. Saintess Qian Ling's primordial spirit explored, her eyes glowing brightly. The meet heavenly star succeeded. She was someone who possessed a primordial spirit. Even in this world, which cannot support the primordial spirit's journey across the land, she could still see at a glance that Lin Zaiasu had once again stepped into the realm of one star shining sky. The repetition on the path of cultivation reflected the opening of a path for a heavenly pride. Laying claim to the first meet heavenly star would naturally lead to the second. If the first can succeed, the second to the ninth will all follow smoothly. Indeed, a generation's heavenly pride. Saintess Qian Ling felt deeply gratified. Meet heavenly star. Lin Zaiasu chuckled inwardly. Even someone as powerful as her hadn't noticed that this current heavenly star Tears was no longer a meat heavenly star, but had reached the ultimate realm of bone heavenly star. He did not expose it. Yes, finally it is achieved. From now on your path reaches high and wide, Saintess Kyan Ling said. I offer you a cup in celebration, using tea instead of wine. 2 cups of tea were brewed with Xianglu Yunwu that Lin Zaiasu had given her that day. Lin Zaiasu gently sipped the tea from his cup, his gaze slowly rising. This road, you helped me open it. Do you still need the remaining 8 skin heavenly star Tears? One sentence. The teacup near Saintess Kyan Ling's lips rippled slightly. Her heartbeat instantly doubled. More than 10 days ago, she received his first skin heavenly star Tears. This heavenly star Tears contained the embryo of the life-lost seed she had longed for. For her, it was definitely the greatest treasure in the world. However, it was only an embryo of the seed. The law within was fragmented. In her heart she contemplated countless times. From the perspective of the great Tao rules, a star incomplete, 9 stars gathering, will not be incomplete. If she could gather all 9 heavenly star Tears born from Lin Zaiasu's peeping earth into peeping heaven, combine them into one, it might become a truly meaningful life-lost seed. But that was her dream. Reality held too many variables. Lin Zaiasu was not living for Saintess Kyan Ling. He was the shrewdest person in the world. As long as he knew the effect of these heavenly star Tears on cultivators, he would never give all his heavenly star Tears to her alone. And her current cultivation level was, in truth, merely on par with his. Using force or means, she might find it difficult to control him. Various indicators showed. For Saintess Kyan Ling to obtain this complete opportunity, the difficulty was unparalleled. But now, Lin Zaiasu proactively mentioned that the remaining 8 heavenly star Tears could be given to her. What if I say I want them? What would happen? Saintess Kyan Ling asked, holding her breath as she uttered these words. Lin Zaiasu smiled lightly. If you want them, I'll leave them for you. Saintess Kyan Ling took a deep breath. Actually, as of now, we truly owe each other nothing. If I were to accept your 8 heavenly star Tears for nothing, I would owe you too much. You dislike owing favors, and I do too. Actually, I know what you hope I will do for you, but I am not confident I can achieve it. The true head figures of the 9-headed snake, their identities are all confidential, and even my grandfather, barely know much. This was the mark of a wise person. Lin Zaiasu did not explicitly state any conditions. She understood. Moreover, she also made it clear that the Naren's family knew little about the true high-level figures of the 9-headed snake. Even if she intended to serve as his insider in Luoba State, she might not be able to find the true high level of the 9-headed snake. Never mind the people of this era, whose cultivation and skills she may not find impressive. However, in matters of concealed identities, people of this era far surpass those of earlier times. What's your specific purpose for entering Daxia this time? Lin Zaiasu, gently holding the teacup, asked. Saintess Kyan Ling laughed. The purpose varies from person to person. My purpose is to meet you, and their purpose is for me to bring them the wood vitality for rapid recovery from injuries. Wood vitality, can it allow injuries to recover instantly? Lin Zaiasu's eyes gleamed subtly. Yes, it is said in the old tales that there's such a magical relic in the blood coffin of the Saintess Kyan Ling, and the 9-headed snake needs this ability. The 9-headed snake is the opposition of Qianlong. Their global battlefield struggle occurs every moment. The Qianlong warrior spills blood on the battlefield. The 9-headed snake is the same. If there were some ancient divine skill capable of instantly recovering injuries, they would quickly gain the upper hand, even creating overwhelming advantages over the other party. This is why the 9-headed snake is so focused on Saintess Kyan Ling's relic. This was the fundamental reason Catherine came to Daxia for the first time. She succeeded, but she also failed. She succeeded in finding the blood coffin of the Saintess Kyan Ling and successfully opened it. She failed in being taken over by Saintess Kyan Ling. Catherine came, but what returned was no longer Catherine. Lin Zaiasu asked, It's been said there's such a relic, is there actually one? There truly is, Saintess Kyan Ling affirmed. After obtaining Saintess Kyan Ling's relic, I can condense such a miraculous item which, once ingested, truly can heal instantly. But rest assured, I would never offer it to them, whereas you're entirely different. Her hand extended gently, and a small blue flower emerged seamlessly from her sleeve, landing on her fingertip. She handed the small flower to Lin Zaiasu. Lin Zaiasu's finger touched it, his heart slightly shaken. This little flower appeared similar to any wildflower seen anywhere this season, yet the one in front of him was entirely different, containing a mystical essence, the wood vitality. A tiny wildflower that remarkably resembles an exotic beast's essence crystal. The 5 elements elemental crystals are incredibly rare. Lin Zaiasu needs the 5 elements, and there's another person who needs the 5 elements too. Outside Ning City, he captured an earthfall beast, extracting its earth element primordial crystal. On the first day of the Lunar New Year during the equatorial split sun, at Liu Lin Temple, he killed the interdimensional Silver Mountain Bay and acquired the gold element primordial crystal. In Kunkang, a bet led him to claim Chunshui Palace's holy daughter Li Bingson's pet with the Lin surname, acquiring the water element primordial crystal, proof that Lin never misses an opportunity. Even in that wager, he had his own agenda. It implies that so far, he has secured 3 elements. But as for the remaining wood and fire elements, he is at a loss. Now here on the lakeside of Tashan, Saintess Kyan Ling casually delivers a wildflower before him, carrying wood rules within it that astonishingly mirror those of exotic beast essence crystals. This is yet another opportunity. Is it difficult to condense such wildflowers? Lin Zaiasu slowly raised his gaze. Is one flower not enough? Saintess Kyan Ling asked. I have a partner who desperately needs it, and I require it myself too. Give me 3 hours, Saintess Kyan Ling replied. For 3 hours, Saintess Kyan Ling closed her eyes and meditated. In her palm was a wildflower freshly picked from the lakeside. After 3 hours from morning to noon, she finally opened her eyes and handed this wildflower to Lin Zaiasu. It was identical to the previous one, and Saintess Kyan Ling appeared a bit tired, but her expression was joyful because she finally managed to do something for him. Chapter 327. Chapter 327. Please deliver the exotic treasure to the 9-headed snake. Lin Zaiasu accepted the 2 wildflowers and offered her a freshly brewed cup of tea. Now we no longer need to be polite. Yes, said Saintess Kyan Ling. I want to discuss a transaction with you. A transaction? Yes, said Lin Zaiasu. You help me with something, and once it's done, the remaining 8 heavenly star tiers will be all yours. No matter the circumstances, I will keep them for you. All right, said Saintess Kyan Ling. As long as it's something I can do, no matter how difficult, I will do it. I want you to return to Luoba State and gather 9 such wildflowers, then offer them to the 9-headed snake. Saintess Kyan Ling's eyes widened sharply, staring blankly at Lin Zaiasu, utterly in disbelief. Are you serious? Serious? You don't believe this flower can really make injuries recover instantly? I absolutely believe it, said Lin Zaiasu. Saintess Kyan Ling exhaled softly. Once the 9-headed snake gets hold of this exotic item, it will surely distribute it to its leaders and heavenly king-level characters. Once they possess the ability to recover injuries instantly, it will be terrifying. Foreseeable. Then there remains only one question: why? These words were already very serious. Because the importance of this matter is incomparable. Because a wisp of Lin Zaiasu's voice seeped into her ear, the voice a secret transmission. Saintess Kyan Ling was utterly stunned. For a long, long while she exhaled softly. To take, one must first give, right? Yes. I will return to Luoba State now. When shall we meet in that land? As short as 3 months, as long as 6 months. I will come to find you. All right, jot down my phone number. Lin Zaiasu took note of her number and left the cabin. As he walked to the door, he turned back. There's something I want to ask you. Go ahead. Lin Zaiasu said, have you ever heard of a new breakthrough in the genetic world? The Nirvana. The Nirvana, a new term that Chang Yi told Lin Zaiasu when he was carrying out the grand plan at Wuxiang Temple. She said originally, Jing Lei was also supposed to take part in the Wuxiang Temple operation. But Jing Lei had other important matters. This matter involved a new breakthrough in the genetic world, the Nirvana. Regarding the Nirvana, he knew too little, and he wanted to ask Saintess Kyan Ling, because Saintess Kyan Ling was a very special character, her physical form being modern, yet she retained Catherine's memory. At least, she remembered the agreement between herself and Catherine, while her primordial spirit was that of an ancient great power. He was keen to know how the integration of ancient great power and modern human consciousness viewed this novel concept of genetic transformation, and how it viewed this great breakthrough in the genetic world. Saintess Kyan Ling lightly smiled. The nirvana, in fact, is also an expression of breaking down and rebuilding. What do you mean? Explain in detail, Lin Ziasu returned. Saintess Kyan Ling, sipping tea, explained to him. The success rate of genetic transformation is only 30%, with a failure rate of 70%. In general, a failed transformation leaves two paths, death or disability. However, this world is very mystical. The origins of the people in this world are also extremely complex. Some have ancient strange clan bloodlines within. These bloodlines diluted over countless generations, gradually losing their uniqueness, blending into the masses. They age, get sick, and die like ordinary people. No one would notice anything different about them, not even themselves. However, if extreme contradictions manifest within their bodies, if the bloodlines clash fiercely, there's a minuscule chance it may trigger the hidden ancestral chain within the bloodline. Where are the most extreme contradictions reflected? It is in genetic transformation. Genetic transformation introduces foreign genes into the body, causing a direct impact on the human bloodline. This is a clash that wouldn't occur in natural human reproduction. Once it happens, there are three outcomes. First, successful genetic fusion turning the person into a genetic person. Second, unsuccessful genetic fusion resulting in death or disability. Third, unsuccessful genetic fusion where the person would normally face death or disability, but by a stroke of fortune activates the hidden ancestral chain in their bloodline, becoming a higher-level ancestor. The nirvana is an ancestor. Essentially, the nirvana is not a genetic person. Because it does not integrate foreign genes, it merely awakens hidden skills. For it, genetic transformation is merely a powerful stimulus. Utilizing this intense stimulus, they achieve a breakdown and rebuild. The nirvana, essentially not a genetic person, said Lin Ziasu, so they are not bound by the constraints of genetic people. Indeed, the forefront of genetic development in all countries has now shifted to the nirvana, said Saintess Kyan Ling. They believe that the nirvana has resolved the current genetic people technology's biggest bottleneck and is the ultimate development goal of genetic transformation, which is a dangerously weighty realization. Yes, for a nirvana to be reborn is a highly improbable event. In ancient times, a general would climb to success upon a myriad of bones. Now, in this new era, it might also be one successful nirvana over a myriad of bones. The nirvana possess mystical abilities that surpass awakeners. What organization wouldn't want them? However, obtaining a nirvana is exceedingly difficult. That certainly involves a large number of experiments. Other failed experiments just fail. But these experiments are purely medical trials. Failures lead to death. Lin Ziasu said, one successful nirvana at the expense of a myriad of bones, which is not an exaggeration in the slightest. In fact, not even 10,000 test subjects might produce a single nirvana. Daxia wouldn't use innocent civilians as test subjects, at least not openly. But what about the Western world under the nine-headed snake's control? What wouldn't they do? Once the Western world deems civilian lives expendable, conducting brutal and inhumane experiments, cultivating a large number of nirvana, the nine-headed snake's overall power will reach a new level, dramatically shifting the power balance with Qianlong. With this newfound understanding of the nirvana, Lin Ziasu departed from Tashan Lake. Saintess Kyan Ling slowly stood up, her gaze sweeping over Tashan Lake. Here she had already purchased the little cabin. Whether others believe it or not, she had already perceived this small lake as her ideal residence. It is quite peculiar because she is a foreign girl. No matter how wealthy, even if she acquires numerous properties globally, she shouldn't truly feel a sense of belonging to this small lake. However, this logic only applies to Catherine, and not to Saintess Kyan Ling. In Saintess Kyan Ling's perspective, anywhere in the world is an unfamiliar place. Comparatively, she prefers Daxia more. Although Daxia people's skin color doesn't match her kin, their thought habits, language, and writing offer her a deeper sense of belonging. This is cultural attachment, and it is also a sense of home. She originally planned to reside here long-term. At least here she needn't mingle with those families without a sense of identity. She could be more at ease, staying close to those she desired to reach out to, yes, naming specifically, Lin Zios. And today she still departed. Today's departure was for the implementation of a grand plan. This grand plan was devised by him. To successfully execute this grand plan for him meant she could rightfully accept his 8 heavenly star tiers. Chapter 328. Chapter 328. Inviting Huya into Jiangcheng. Lin Ziasu returned to the detective agency. This time, going home has been the longest stay since the founding of the detective agency. Miao Rulan is feeling a bit unsettled. He seems to be quite sweet on his little wife at home. What should I do as the mistress? But her tenderness and intelligence lie in the fact that she always positions herself very low. Seeing him step into the detective agency, she still gently smiles at him. Josai also routinely leaves the detective agency to head to her endless Li Fang's appointment. This evening, Miao Rulan had particularly deep doubts. Logically, he should be quite drained being so sweet at home, yet he indulges in Miao Rulan passionately, as if constantly stimulated, yet without truly being moved. What's going on? With the sweetest feelings and waves of endless joy, she drifted into a blissful dream. The next day, Lin Ziasu told her, "Rulan, I need to go to Jiangcheng, you drive me there." "All right." Miao Rulan happily drove the blue sedan from the detective agency, taking Lin Ziasu to Jiangcheng. En route to the highway entrance, Lin Ziasu asked her to turn and take the old road. Driving the old road takes them directly to Jiangcheng. Miao Rulan did not ask why. Only Lin Ziasu knows. Why not take the convenient provincial bus but drive himself? Why take the old road instead of the highway? All because of one thing, Lin Ziasu was tracing someone's origins. This person was a Li Tian clan member who had come to Tashan 1 month ago to carry out a Li Tian clan mission. Fengcheng police didn't find out where he came from. Lin Ziasu could find out. He didn't connect the dots the day after arriving at Tashan because his cultivation was stuck in a breaking before the establishment predicament. He was not accustomed to fighting when his cultivation was at a low point. The motto of Hidden Dragon 101 base is even a lion fighting a rabbit must exert all its strength. Fortunately, 20 days of delay didn't sever the initial line. His time-tracing ability can maintain tracking for 2 months. As long as this heavy ability remains, he can trace where the Li Tian clan member from a month ago came from. Upon arriving in Jiangcheng, Lin Ziasu stretched his hands out, hugged Rulan and kissed her lips. "You head back now." Miao Rulan gently wrapped her hands around his neck. "Be careful." "Relax, I'm feeling quite expanded. I have a premonition that our detective agency's account is about to receive more money." Miao Rulan giggled. "Only 2 months into the year and 600,000 from 101 alone, it's already surpassed last year's total. Complete this mission and just return to retire." She left and Lin Ziasu watched her go. For an average person, what Miao Rulan said indeed makes sense. Someone calculated how much an average person could earn in a lifetime. Some say 2 million, others say 3 million, while some argue earnings don't have much reference value. The key is how much one can save. Only about 1 in 10,000 can save 1 million before retirement. Responses vary widely, yet the bottom line is, those with assets over 1 billion are merely survivors of bias. Most ordinary people will earn just a few million, with savings below 1 million. If Lin Ziasu considered himself an average person, opening the detective agency nearly a year, netting over 10 million definitely counts as earning a lifetime's worth and qualifies him to ponder retirement. Moreover, Rulan mentioned 600,000 for payments, not 500,000. The Kunkang 101 action paid 500,000. Where did the other 100,000 come from? That's the reward for delivering the note from Saintess Kayan, Ling, to Chang Yi. Making 100,000 from a single note, at first glance, seems like easy money. But looking beyond the surface to the essence, a single note destroyed 31 hidden chess pieces meticulously set by 9-headed snake. Let alone 100,000, 1 million in rewards is deserving. So will Lin Ziasu earn rewards in this operation? That depends on what kind of fish he catches next. During the daylight hours, Lin Ziasu walked a long way down Jiangcheng streets. In the afternoon, he entered a hotel. Sitting in an elevator, he ascended to the 8th floor. Opening the window, he squinted while surveying the East Lake view outside, remarked how fine the spring light was, then made a call. In a southwest base, Huya suddenly stood, staring at the phone in her hand, her expression somewhat strange. Seemingly excited, yet hesitant. "Whose call?" A beautiful woman in a white trench coat across from her raised her gaze. She is Zhu Ying, Qianlong Gold Medal number 9. By logic, a reserve gold medal upon formalization equals a fledgling eagle taking its flight. There's no need for eagles to follow closely. However, throughout Huya's journey, Zhu Ying's role has been quite complex. A teacher, a sister, a close friend. Even though this little fledgling can leave the nest, Zhu Ying, as the eagle, still accompanies her on the final leg of her journey. "It's him, Lin Ziasu." Zhu Ying stepped forward, her face already excited. "Answer." Huya took a deep breath, answered the call, and Lin Ziasu's familiar, relaxed voice came through. "I'm currently in Jiangcheng. East Lake Spring Light is beautiful. There's a crowd rowing boats there. Huya, care to join?" Huya slowly widened her eyes. "You called just to invite me to row boats?" "Yes, if rowing isn't thrilling enough, we could also fish." Fishing in East Lake, a ripple crossed Huya's heart. She wasn't foolish, she picked up something intriguing. "Yes, though the lake's surface is smooth as a mirror, the currents are turbulent. I have a hunch that the fish beneath are quite large," Lin Ziasu said. Huya raised her gaze, met Zhu Ying's serious look and her gentle nodding. "All right. I'm in Donghu Hotel, room 8018. Lin Ziasu's call ended. Huya slowly put away her phone. Zhu Ying smiled. "Just days ago you said when this mission concludes, initiate contact with him, yet he reached out first. Seems like the heart speaks volumes. I'll take you there." "All right." The car sped off. Zhu Ying and Huya journeyed together to Jiangcheng. Huya's heart surged with excitement. And she was a bit anxious. Excitement because she heard Lin Ziasu's meaning. Fishing in East Lake was merely a call-out. The real meaning as part of Hidden Dragon is clear. That means he has discovered some criminals hidden in Jiangcheng. He's inviting her to assist in their capture. This is precisely what she needs right now. Because she is currently in her gold medal trial phase. Achievements made in this phase, the merits earned, all influence her gold medal count. If the achievements are great, the gold medal number will advance. The count of gold medals acquired in the first phase is her starting point within Qianlong. The higher the starting point, the higher her platform. This is the element of excitement. And the anxiety. Her anxiety stemmed from the sensitive realization that the small secret she guarded carefully might be unveiled today. Lin Ziasu must have discovered her true identity. This invitation for action is based on her true identity. From the moment the two would meet, she, Li Diandian, and he, Lin Ziasu, were no longer the countryside boy and girl from Old Tashan village. They have emerged from the tides of the era, facing evil hand in hand, as does Zia Night Watchman. Chapter 329. Chapter 329, Reunion with Childhood Sweetheart in Jiangcheng. "A bit nervous, are you?" Zhu Ying held her hand. Huya wanted to shake her head, but in the end, she gently nodded. Zhu Ying said, "Qianlong fights for the country and the family often doesn't know. However, the legacy and shared devotion can often create moving melodies. Let me tell you a story. More than 10 years ago in the Chuanan province, there was a couple. The man had no goals, spending his days playing games in internet cafes. The woman worked out in the field for an organization and was always traveling. Their son was basically raised by his grandparents. Outsiders would talk about them with disapproval, and the grandparents would sigh when mentioning them. When the couple met, they always blamed each other. From a usual perspective, they were just a typical example of the common struggles of the lower class in society. However, no one knew that the woman was Qianlong Gold Medal. Her gold medal number was 49. Every time she went on business trips, she was actually executing missions across countries. On foreign battlefields, she wielded her blade like a descending lioness, cutting through endless foes and upholding the dignity of Daxia country with an iron grip, ignoring life and death, enduring countless injuries. On September 3 of last year, she came back severely injured from Luoba State, recovered for half a month at home, only to find out her son hadn't attended school for over half a month, and his father had been messing around for the same period without any concern. This time she couldn't take it anymore, had a big fight with her husband, and then got divorced. With endless resentment towards her husband and a heart scarred by an unfortunate marriage, she executed the 73rd mission of her gold medal career. This mission was to protect the top-level Daxia, Red Hacker. This Red Hacker was a legend in Daxia. With a vast network of connections and endless channels over the decade, he provided Qianlong with at least 1,000 leads and dismantled at least 109-headed snake cyberarmies, serving as a legendary guardian deity in the online world. 49's mission this time was her final mission. She sacrificed her life because 9-headed snake deployed wing blades. Wing blades were 9-headed snake's most advanced flying robots, and even today, they remain cutting edge. Wing blades soared towards the airport where the red hacker was, rose into the air, embraced the wing blade, and detonated the bomb on her. The wing blade was stopped, the red hacker was rescued, and she sacrificed herself. If the story ends here, it's just a familiar version for countless Qianlong members. However, the story isn't over. The red hacker looked at the head that fell before him and fainted with a scream. The first thing he said when he opened his eyes in the hospital was, "I'm luckier than her. I know the one I love in this life is worthy of love, but she didn't know." He, the legendary red hacker who silently dedicated half his life to the country, was actually the seemingly worthless husband in his wife's eyes. His wife, the final target of protection, was surprisingly the husband who had already broken her heart. Zhu Ying's story ended. Hu Ya's eyes slightly glittered. "I've seen her photo. It's still on the Qianlong martyr wall." Yes, the Qianlong gold medal is vacant upon death, and successors fill in. "I always hoped you could take up her gold medal number, but I don't wish for you to follow her life." Filling in is a Qianlong rule. The Qianlong gold medal is finite. Every generation starts from 1. When someone dies, their gold medal number becomes vacant and is filled by someone behind them. So each gold medal number corresponds to several people. The last one is currently active. The rest mostly hang on the Qianlong martyr wall, though a few are erased due to betrayal, but the latter are very rare. Zhu Ying wants Hu Ya to fill in for 49 because the previous 49 belonged to the same type as Hu Ya, courageous and invincible as a woman. But she doesn't hope for Hu Ya to fill in for her predecessor's life. As her husband said, he himself was luckier than 49. He finally knows that his often traveling, utterly irresponsible wife was truly worthy of love and even respect. And the wife herself died unaware that her husband was actually her fellow traveler. Therefore, Zhu Ying hopes Hu Ya can escape 49's vicious circle and journey together with Lin Ziaosu, avoiding the tragic life of both unaware as fellow travelers. The flying car zipped through the air and soon arrived at Jiangcheng. At Jiangcheng Donghu Hotel, the sun had already set. Lin Ziaosu sat before the window, gazing at East Lake. In the sunset, East Lake appeared so peaceful, its waves gleaming urban eye, also the soul of the city. No wonder the lake view room costs much more. High up in the building, looking far ahead, it indeed has something of its own flavor. The door knocked lightly. Lin Ziaosu's smile slowly appeared at the corner of his mouth. "Hu Ya, are you ready?" He walked quickly to the door and opened it, and there outside was Hu Ya. "You're here." Hu Ya smiled softly, her little tiger tooth gleaming in the sunset. That familiar smile, hands behind her back, craning head and walking into the room expression, perhaps also trying to awaken distant childhood memories between the two. "This room is pretty nice. You can see the East Lake view." Hu Ya closed the door behind her. "What's the point of looking at the East Lake view? Turning back occasionally on your road, you can still see me, your childhood friend. That's the interesting thing." Lin Ziaosu raised his hand, offering a cup of fragrant tea to Hu Ya. Hu Ya's eyes squinted slightly. "Planning to walk with me?" "What's planning to walk with you? I've always been on your road. You, carefree as you are, can't see it at all. Tonight, planning to strip us bare." Hu Ya lifted the teacup, blowing on the tea leaves carefree. Lin Ziaosu stared at her, completely silent. "Not literally stripping clothes. After stripping clothes, you still have that damn swallowing heaven without leakage. Might as well not strip." Hu Ya leaned her head over, implied sense. "Are we going to lay everything out? Show it all?" "I'm Qianlong. Still not formally awarded a gold medal number yet," Lin Ziaosu said. "The exact number to be awarded depends on your future performance. Your reserve status conversion point was last December 23. The formal confirmation of gold medal number point is this June 22. Hu Ya, you don't have much time left." "Damn," Hu Ya almost jumped. "I didn't know the exact time point for gold medal number confirmation, yet you knew." "A wise person has their ways." Lin Ziaosu slowly sipped tea. All right, I'll stop guessing wildly, though I've vaguely heard you slept with Qianlong members, but I won't guess without evidence. Huya said, how do you plan to help me? Lin Zaiasu said, catch a mouse. A mouse? Huya frowned slightly. Maybe an entire nest. What kind of mouse? Remember our hometown. There's a temple on the mountain with a stone tower above. There's some elegance in the tower. A member of the Li Tian clan climbed Tashan 42 days ago, attempting to use a TH-35 grenade to blow up this stone tower. They didn't succeed. Huya was shocked. TH-35, are you sure? Completely sure. Luckily they didn't succeed, Huya said. I know about TH-35 grenades. They are thermobarometric grenades meticulously researched by Nine-Headed Snake. One grenade explosion is enough to level the top of Tashan. Exactly, Lin Zaiasu said. So, should this mouse's nest be cleared out? Bastard dares to destroy my hometown, I'll break the rules to take him down. Huya stood up. Shall we go now? Chapter 330. Chapter 330. Delivering meat, flowers, and a knife. No rush. Tonight is not the time to dig for mouse nests. The fattest mouse is on a trip and won't be back until evening. Lin Zaiasu said, tomorrow is the right time to dig. All right, let's analyze the case carefully. What is their objective in bombing the tower? This, I'm not sure if I say it, you'll be torn between two concerns. Huya shot him a glance. You've already made me torn by saying that. If you don't clarify, I'll be even more anxious. Lin Zaiasu said. At the top of Tashan, there's not just an ancient tower but also an ancient array, beneath which is sealed the Earth Core race. The greatest obsession of the Li Tian clan member is to release the Earth Core strange race. Once successfully released, no one knows what kind of human tragedy might occur. After all, these Earth Core beings are methodology. Their ideal paradise involves volcanic eruptions, ground upheavals, and blazing skies. Huya's complexion completely changed. Tashan is close to Old Tashan village. Her mom is at the foot of the mountain, and her dad is even on the mountain. As soon as the Earth Core race breaks free, her elderly parents will be the first ones affected. Being in Qianlong, national affairs should take precedence. But Huya isn't the type. Her thinking prioritizes family first. Told you it would unsettle you. But you don't need to worry too much. Qianlong is already aware and has countermeasures. Utopia won't have it easy. If we could also dismantle the local utopia, the risk to our homeland could be minimized. Huya let out a long breath. I was originally thinking of focusing on the Nine-Headed Snake, but now it seems this group of utopia groundhogs might need to be my primary target. All right, get a good night's rest. I brought you some meat. Meat? Huya's eyes glinted slightly. Not just meat, but also a flower. Lin Zaiasu stretched out his hand, revealing a piece of snow-white meat, atop which was a delicate purple flower. And indeed, this purple flower atop the snow-white meat has a magical aesthetic. What kind of meat is this? Water element spirit beast meat. Huya's eyes brightened. Water element spirit beast. Taoist Lu Yun once said she, with her swallowing heaven without leakage, is a heavenly Tao gourmet, and what she currently needs most is the meat of the five-element spiritual beast. Only by completing the 5 elements can her swallowing heaven without leakage smoothly enter the second stage. With her physique completed, her abilities would greatly advance, which she yearns for. And what adds to her excitement was Taoist Lu Yun's other note. Before the 5 elements are completed, the body is a cauldron that must not leak, meaning can't lose chastity, can't mess around. And after completing the 5 elements, one can mess around, even must mess around. Because at that time, the body is no longer the cauldron, but heaven and earth are, breaking the body's shackles and connecting with the heaven's great Tao. Though she never admits it, she often thinks deep at night about that thing happening after the 5 elements are completed, and even under the guise of cultivation reasoning, her childhood sweetheart would happen naturally, without psychological barriers. What a thing to look forward to. Probably the most worth anticipating thing in life. However, life is like this. For things worth looking forward to, there are always obstacles. And the biggest obstacle is the 5-element spiritual beast meat. She could bet her still existing virginity that she's not missed any peculiar meat dish. She even got genetically mutated dogs to boil. But as for the 5 elements beast meat, up until now, she's only tried 2 elements. All brought by Lin Zaiasu. This meeting, once again bringing a type of 5-element spiritual beast meat, makes the girl feel she's a step closer to her dream. She stretched out her hand, grabbing this water element spiritual meat, and with her other hand took out a strange bag from the one tossed on the bed. Lin Zaiasu widened his eyes. You're cooking the meat with this bag. This bag looks like a bag, but actually it's a microwave bag. Huya's hand paused, her gaze falling on the little purple flower on the white meat. What's this flower for? Ceremony sense. Does it look nice? Lin Zaiasu asked. Yes, the snow-white meat represents my virginity, and the purple flower represents your flower heart. I understand the meaning. Sooner or later, my snow-white meat will be contaminated by you. Personally, judging by your enthusiasm in finding 5-element spiritual meats for me everywhere, this day isn't far away. Lin Zaiasu raised his hand, rubbing his forehead. Is there a possibility this flower itself is one of the 5 elements? Huya's hand slightly shook, raising her gaze, almost unable to believe her ears. Lin Zaiasu casually added, swallowing heaven without leakage doesn't just swallow meat, and the 5 elements may not simply manifest through meat consumption. This flower is a wood element exotic treasure. Try swallowing it directly. I'm not sure if cooking it randomly would lose its specialness. With a flick of her finger, she touched the petal, and with a turn, the petal entered her mouth. She savored it thoughtfully, and her face slightly changed. There's a strong feeling like my mouth has become a garden. Exactly right, swallow it. Huya extended her neck and swallowed it, licking her lips. The mouth just after swallowing feels quite fragrant. Want a taste? Come on, you're intentionally making it hard for me to sleep. Lin Zaiasu flopped on the bed. The aroma thickened in his nose, and the water element spiritual meat was cooked. Hey, care to split a bowl? Huya nudged him. I'll pass, I'm heading out for dinner. What about you, interested in some proper food? With water element spirit beast meat on the table, why eat anything else? No dish in the world could top it. So for this meal, Lin Zaiasu ate normally while Huya devoured every last bit of the cooked water element spirit beast meat from the microwave bag, leaving no broth or morsel behind. When Lin Zaiasu returned to the room, she licked her lips. There's a bit of lingering taste. I'm telling you, if you don't try it now, you'll miss your chance. Want to try? Sounds reasonable. I've never tried water element spirit beast meat either. Let's give it a go. Lin Zaiasu sat by the bed and tasted it. The taste is a bit overpowering. At least it causes one's blood to surge, physiologically transformative. After munching, Lin Zaiasu brought out a gift. It's the short knife crafted by the sword master of Li Palace, half-withered elder. The one thing this short knife is designed for is being durable. The only drawback is its weight. However, in Huya's hands, this drawback became an advantage. Her strength is formidable. The dragon scale in Qianlong felt too light and not handy to her, so she rarely carried dragon scale when out for tasks. And this short knife from Lin Zaiasu is her perfect weapon. Huya was so taken with it that she played with it half the night. To reward Lin Zaiasu's kind gesture of meat, flour, and knife, she hinted that he could play with her rabbit. At her hint, Huya was deeply moved. The strongest sentiment was, I must say, being in Qianlong isn't half bad. At least when messing around with you in this hotel, there's no worry about the police busting in. Damn. Lin Zaiasu was basically speechless. Chapter 331, Chapter 331, Floor 4.5. The next morning, all was ready. Lin Zaiasu opened the door, and someone appeared outside. It was the commander of the Jiangcheng Criminal Investigation Team, Shen Yinchuan, dressed in a police uniform, looking formidable. Shen Yinchuan's gaze fell on Lin Zaiasu's face, which suddenly seemed a bit animated. I received your order early this morning, and I ran through a red light to get here. Really? Did you actually run a red light? Lin Zaiasu asked. Haha, just a figure of speech. Shen Yinchuan leaned in. Is it a big mission? Theoretically, yes. What do you mean by theoretically? Huh. Shen Yinchuan's gaze suddenly shifted to the room, where an explosively built woman appeared, making his eyes flicker. Damn, Zio Lin, you were a bit unruly last night, fooling around with a woman and calling a criminal investigation team captain to your side this early. How do you expect me to handle that? Don't get the wrong idea. This is Miss Li from Qianlong. The words Qianlong flowed into Shen Yinchuan's ears like water. Shen Yinchuan's face suddenly turned serious, saluting, Chief. At this moment, Huya finally experienced the glory of the Qianlong gold medal. The captain of the provincial city's criminal investigation team was saluting and calling me Chief. Haha, this feeling was really something. She returned the salute simply. Today's mission is fully under Detective Lin's charge, and you are to cooperate. Yes, Shen Yinchuan accepted the order directly. Inside, his emotions were surging. Lin Zaiasu, every time we meet, you use your status as a banner. I have to follow your commands again. A dignified captain of the criminal investigation team, turned into your sidekick, and you're not embarrassed. Lin Zaiasu said, today we'll go straight to a place. All right. The three of them went downstairs, arriving at the parking lot where Shen Yinchuan waved slightly, and 4 police officers vacated their squad car for him. Shen Yinchuan drove, with Lin Zaiasu and Hu Ye in the backseat, heading to a factory by Donghu Lake as directed by Lin Zaiasu. This factory was called Lantian Mold Factory. Hu Ye put on the dragon eye to search the factory, but found nothing unusual from Qianlong's database. The police car arrived at Lantian Mold Factory, and the gatekeeper quickly stood up. Shen Yinchuan flashed his police ID and went straight into the factory premises. They entered the factory manager's office building and took the elevator directly to the 7th floor. Factory manager Su Hong was already waiting in the office. As Lin Zaiasu's trio set foot on the 7th floor, the manager greeted them with a smile, hands extended and low, shaking hands with Shen Yinchuan, then with Lin Zaiasu and Hu Ye, showing perfect etiquette. They were welcomed into his luxurious office, and the secretary served them fragrant tea. Shen Yinchuan's gaze turned to Lin Zaiasu. Lin Zaiasu's gaze moved away from the empty desk and met Su Hong's smiling face. Mr. Su, could you please take us for a tour of the factory area? Sure, you leaders can see anything you'd like, Su Hong replied. All right, let's go then. Lin Zaiasu stood up. Shen Yinchuan's heart skipped lightly. Not many had seen Lin Zaiasu investigate cases, but he had been fortunate enough to witness it a few times. The most memorable was that day at the Changsheng group facing Li Changsheng. He also entered the office with similarly vacant eyes, and then said to Li Changsheng, please take us for a walk. That walk ended with the deepest secrets of the Changsheng group being completely exposed. As a branch of the 9-headed snake, Changsheng group was completely taken down. Li Changsheng, a nationally renowned private entrepreneur, was turned to dust right then and there. Today, the same operation, might it yield the same result? Entering the elevator, Su Hong smiled. Which floor do you leaders need to go to? Lin Zaiasu said, the 4th floor. The smile on Su Hong's face suddenly froze. Shen Yinchuan's heart leapt. The 4th floor. The elevator doesn't have such a floor. Su Hong's smile slowly reappeared. Chief, you must be joking, this elevator doesn't have a 4.5 floor. Why don't we descend to the 1st floor and take a look at the exterior first? He pointed at the elevator button with his right index finger. However, Lin Zaiasu extended his hand to grasp Su Hong's thumb. The thumb lightly touched the button, and the elevator started. 7th floor, 6th floor. 5th floor, 4.5 floor. Yes, the elevator's display incredibly showed 4.5. Su Hong's eyes suddenly changed completely. The eyes transformed, no longer human-like. His body also suddenly transformed, no longer human-like, but instead like a fierce beast. His 10 fingers like 10 sharp blades, gleaming with a dark light. His eyes, deep as the 9 netherworld hell. Both hands together, the 10 sharp claws like scythes from hell, thrust towards Lin Zaiasu and Shen Yinchuan. All these changes happened in an instant. Shen Yinchuan's face changed dramatically. In the narrow elevator, Su Hong had transformed into a fierce beast, right beside them. No matter how you dealt with it, it seemed almost impossible to avoid mutual destruction. However, Su Hong seemed to have overlooked someone. That was Hu Ye. Hu Ye was a woman, and Su Hong's primary target was clearly not her, but the most dangerous person, Shen Yinchuan. And the person Su Hong feared the most, Lin Zaiasu, because when Lin Zaiasu uttered the shocking words 4.5 floor, he had instantly hit Su Hong's warning line at full force. Hu Ye suddenly reached out. Her hand grabbed Su Hong's arm. This grab shifted Su Hong's arm, and the blade-like claws scraped against the stainless steel wall of the elevator, producing a teeth-aching screech with 4 deep scratches. Su Hong was astonished, his whole body twisted, no longer caring to attack the 2 men. Hu Ye's right hand moved, unleashing great force. Su Hong was suspended in the air. Hu Ye swung her hand down fiercely, smashing him towards the floor. Just as Su Hong's head was about to hit the floor, Huya seemed to realize this wouldn't work. She suddenly extended her foot. With a loud crash, Su Hong smashed heavily onto her foot. Shen Yinchuan's eyes widened in shock. His mind went wild. Well, she just lifted the beast up and smashed it. And smashed it onto her own foot. At least 90% of the force landed on her foot, with only 10% absorbed by the floor on the side, which now had a visibly big dent. Yet her face showed no pain. Instead, it showed excitement. This leader is fierce. Fierce beyond measure. Su Hong, by her smash, was turned back from beast to human form right away. His eyes opened wide, filled with confusion. As the elevator doors opened, there was an office in front of them. The office door was locked. Lin Zaiasu reached out, dragging the limp Su Hong with him, pressing his thumb onto the fingerprint lock as a green light scanned downward. Lin Zaiasu flipped his hand, slapping Su Hong on the back of the head. His eyes opened wide, welcoming the green light. The office door opened silently. Shen Yinchuan's eyes also widened. This method of opening a door was very familiar. Exactly the same as the secret room door at the Changsheng group with Li Changsheng. Damn! Could these secret rooms have been installed by the same master? Inside the secret room, Lin Zaiasu released his grip, leaving Su Hong slumped on the ground. He was actually already unconscious, knocked out directly by Huya's throw. Shen Yinchuan entered the secret room, finally realizing that this secret room was essentially similar to Li Changsheng's. At least this secret room was not underground, but rather in between floors. Pulling back the curtains, surprisingly, he could still see the scenery of East Lake. Chapter 332. Chapter 332. You are very vigilant, I can only be arrogant. It must be said, various crime organizations have a multitude of methods to construct secret rooms. While they hide underground, is it impossible to hide between floors? No, quite the opposite. Sometimes between floors is even more deceptive. To the average person, a building stands there with all its rooms connected, making it impossible for a room to disappear into thin air. However, with clever design, a secret room can be completely hidden, invisible from inside and outside, breaking psychological conventions. What's inside the secret room? Lin Zaiasu's eyes shifted as he approached a wall. With a gentle swipe of his finger, a keypad suddenly appeared on the wall. He flicked his finger and entered a string of passwords, and the wall parted. The things inside. Even Shen Yinchuan, who had witnessed countless thrilling scenes, had a dramatic change in his expression. There are guns inside. There are knives. What sends chills down one's spine is that there are grenades inside. Ceramic shell TH-35. TH-35, thermobarometric hand grenade. Shen Yinchuan's voice was hoarse. Huya suddenly raised her head, her eyes gleaming with brilliance. TH-35. Earlier, Su Hong's transformation had already proven he was a Li Tian clan member. Could he be on the same line with that Li Tian clan member who went to Tashan on a mission? There's another piece of evidence that can connect them. This evidence is the TH-35 grenade. Now the grenade has truly appeared. It proves that the sinister plan executed in Tashan, the one with the deepest evil, was orchestrated by Su Hong. This brings exciting news about the smooth resolution of the case. And there's another layer of excitement, a logical deduction. Such high-level materials could not be owned by little Kalami. It must be an extremely important site of Utopia. Little Su, what should we do next? Shen Yinchuan asked. Technically, he should consult this commander. However, perhaps those in criminal investigation have keen eyes. He was sensitive enough to notice that this commander seemed to have absolute trust in Lin Zaiasu. Since the commander appeared simple-minded yet physically capable, he didn't stand on ceremony and directly bypassed him to ask Lin Zaiasu for answers. Lin Zaiasu reached out and took a phone from the pile of weapons. Brightened it. Little Su, should I immediately arrange to lock down this factory area? This was the procedure from before. The memory of locking down Changsheng Group was too vivid. Lin Zaiasu gently shook his head. The people outside might not know his secrets. This might be the difference between the Li Tian clan and Nine-Headed Snake. The Li Tian clan uses the clan as a line. Ordinary people can't enter their circle. Is that what it means? Shen Yinchuan asked. Yes, Lin Zaiasu replied. There are 5 phone numbers in this phone. This is his core circle. Phone numbers, Huya asked. You dial, I'll track. All right. Huya reached out, wearing the dragon eye. Ready? Ready? Shen Yinchuan suddenly stepped forward. Hold on, little Su, this is a bit rash. Give me some time. I'll first set up surveillance citywide to prevent them from fleeing when startled. He is the captain of the criminal investigation team, and he is more than familiar with using the system to lock onto call recipients. As long as they answer the phone, even if hidden dragon system doesn't take action, he can find a way to locate them. However, such a task involves 5 people, and there's no way it wouldn't leak. Once leaked, the 5 would undoubtedly flee immediately. So, without knowing the specific people behind these calls, the most effective method is to deploy citywide surveillance. Ensuring someone at every intersection could promptly track where they fled to, minimizing unexpected occurrences. No, Lin Zaiasu said. The biggest advantage now is these 5 people aren't aware Su Hong has been exposed. Under such circumstances, calling them will ensure they answer. And as long as they answer the call, I guarantee none of them will escape. As the words fell, the first call was made. Using Su Hong's hidden phone. As soon as the call was made, Zhu Ying's sharp eyes focused on the ripple appearing on her dragon eye in a car in East Lake, synchronizing with the hidden dragon system. Her dragon eye is currently in sync with Huya's dragon eye. Everything inside the secret room was in her view, and her heart had long been a tumultuous wave. Facing the crucial battle, this seemingly gentle Zhu Ying emanated the chilling battle intent of a snowfield eagle. The call connected. What's up? Lin Zaiasu spoke with Su Hong's voice. Stay put, I'll come to find you for a face-to-face talk. All right. The call lasted only 10 seconds, much shorter than the previous call with the white-clothed king. But this is in the homeland, where the hidden dragon system locks onto contacts in less than 5 seconds. Has it locked on? Lin Zaiasu's gaze turned to Huya. Huya gently nodded. Already locked on, well done. Phone call hung up. Huya said, Number 329 Huzai Road. My men are already on their way. Lin Zaiasu nodded, dialed the second phone call. Number 218, Hubei Road, Chief Shen, you arrange the personnel. In a situation where we cannot determine who the target is, seal off this building and trap everyone in this circle, Huya said. Got it, Shen Yinchuan urgently issued orders. Lin Zaiasu dialed the third phone call, fourth phone call. Troll cars charged out from the criminal investigation team, sealing off 3 locations. The fifth phone call, also the last one, rang for quite a while without being answered. Lin Zaiasu, Huya, and Shen Yinchuan all held their breath. Could it be that the other side put the phone in a safe? It shouldn't be. Following the usual rules, the phone making calls needs to be kept secret, but receiving calls can have signal transferred. The former ensures safety, the latter ensures timely reception. Anyway, the signals sent via foreign satellites don't align with domestic communication networks. As long as the incoming call is deleted, there's absolutely no way to investigate. Finally, the call was answered, and everyone simultaneously let out a sigh of relief. As soon as the call connected, a voice came through. Old Fourth, I was just in a meeting. Why are you using the private line? What's the emergency? The voice was very low. Stay where you are, I'll come to you. Lin Zaiasu still said the same words. The other side was silent for a moment. What's going on? You are not Old Fourth. This sentence had a bit of eeriness. Lin Zaiasu was slightly taken aback, then laughed. The laughter reached the other's ears and that person tensed up completely. Who are you? You're very alert, so now I have to be arrogant. Lin Zaiasu smiled and said, I am Lin Zaiasu. The next step is to hunt you down. Run and let me show you my world-famous tracking technique. Phone call hung up. Huya's eyes shone brightly. Phone locked, city government. Chief Shen, you're responsible for handling the secret room, Lin Zaiasu said. All right. Let's go. Lin Zaiasu turned and left the secret room, boarded the elevator, and the patrol cars outside were arriving. At the same time, a car departed from the city government. The car carried entrepreneur Zhang Heyu. Zhang Heyu, astute and capable with outstanding achievements, had just been awarded at the city government's Enterprise Awards ceremony. But right now, how could he have any trace of award-winning pride? He was unmistakably a startled bird. It was still spring, yet sweat rolled down his forehead incessantly. Driver Zio Liu saw this from the rearview mirror. Mr. Zhang, are you feeling unwell? Shall we go to the hospital? Zhang Heyu waved slightly. No need to Nanhu Vegetable Market. The car sped away, heading straight for Nanhu Vegetable Market. Zhang Heiyu was acting so unusual for one reason. He had just received a phone call. The person behind this phone call was Old Fourth. However, Old Fourth would never choose the city government as their meeting place. So he very astutely realized that there was a problem with Old Fourth. His astuteness led to a grand disclosure. The person opposite was indeed Lin Ziasu. Fengcheng's detective Lin Ziasu. Although he seldom steps into Jiangcheng, Jiangcheng still has the legend of Lin Ziasu. Perhaps the average person in Jiangcheng feels nothing toward this name, but it definitely excludes their group. As sewer rats, they are absolutely sensitive to cats. Knowing the other side is Lin Ziasu, Zhang Heiyu felt completely chilled. After a moment of chill, he began to self-rescue. Leaving the venue early, while descending the city government steps, his mind had already spun countless circles, imagining countless escape routes. Immediately head to the airport, leave the country. The fastest flight still has an hour and a half to go. As soon as Lin Ziasu finds out who's answering the call, seals the airport, he's blocked at the airport. Drive quickly onto the highway out of the province. Even worse, the highways are merely lines on Daxia's chessboard. Running for 10 hours wouldn't get you off this road network. The only way is to hide on the spot, completely change his identity. Upon entering Nanhu Vegetable Market, he sent driver Zio Liu home and then entered the bustling market. Seeing the chaotic scene, countless people, Zhang Heiyu inexplicably gained some confidence. I don't believe you're a god. He slipped into the restroom, threw his phone into the toilet. When he came out, he was transformed into a migrant worker. Then he left the market, went to another street, arrived at a construction site, where a migrant worker on the scaffolding greeted him amiably. Get back to your workstation. The foreman was just having a fit, saying we're slacking. If he sees you loitering here, he'll definitely dock your pay. Look, even construction workers mistook him for a migrant worker. Zhang Heiyu was quite satisfied. Suddenly, a voice called out from behind. Zhang Heiyu, it's been an hour and 20 minutes since you and I talked. I've got my car ready and planned on cross-province hunting you, but you're still in Jiangcheng. Are you underestimating my tracking technique? Chapter 333. Chapter 333. Annihilate in one fell swoop. Zhang Heiyu's whole body was stiff. Standing in the spring breeze, unable to move. A figure strolled up from behind him. It was Lin Ziasu. Zhang Heiyu slowly raised his head, his face twisted into a ferocious snarl, a beast's desperate savagery gleaming through. Splurred. A palm landed on his neck and a voice whispered in his ear. Don't transform. If you scare them off their perch, it won't be good. Zhang Heiyu fell into a coma. 5 phones with 5 key people behind them. The first key person was personally handled by Zhu Ying. The second, third, and fourth key persons were the responsibility of the Jiangcheng police. The 5th key person was Lin Ziasu's responsibility. The 5th key person was the first to be captured. All because Lin Ziasu's method of capturing suspects was completely different from the other 4 teams. The first 4 teams utilized the hidden dragon system to pinpoint signal locations to the decimeter level, sealing off the building while still going through a screening process. Lin Ziasu skipped the screening. As long as he reached the location pinpointed by the hidden dragon system, a run-of-time retrospection allowed him to instantly track the person taking the call, their name and facial expression minutely detailed in his eyes. As long as the person couldn't vanish into thin air, any trajectory of movement was laid bare before him. Thus he dared to arrogantly tell Zhang Heiyu, run. Encountering him was like running into a ghost for Zhang Heiyu. The other 4 targets were evidently the same. In the first encirclement, Lin Ziasu walked through 3 corridors, reached a utility room on the roof, and pulled out the person inside, whose heart nearly burst from fear. In the second encirclement, the police had already locked onto the suspect who, exposed, transformed, injuring 7 people on the spot. He leaped off the roof in an extraordinary manner, coincidentally crashing into Huya, who reached out, grabbing the airborne figure in midair and with a twist, boom. Lin Ziasu grimaced slightly. As a Lijiang clan member, whether or not their neck breaks doesn't matter. Their bones can be reassembled at will, but the large pit in the pavement probably required municipal engineering to repair it. In the third encirclement, the target was very alert. Before the police fully enclosed the area, he had actually escaped the encirclement, disguised himself, and pretended to be a bystander on the outskirts. Theoretically, he was already safe. However, after Lin Zaiasu made a round inside, he walked a straight line and stood directly before him. 10 meters away, cold sweat ran down this person's back to his heels, and he finally transformed. At this transformation, Huya locked onto him immediately. And then, once more, another large pit was left on the ground. Only in the first encirclement, Zhu Ying locked onto the suspect. Her snow-white hair gently fluttered, and like a celestial fairy from the heavens, she swept through the air in a single step, landing in front of him and with a swift hand strike. Police cars wailed. Sirens blared. Today, Jiangcheng had some minor commotion. Of course, for a metropolitan city of tens of millions, the commotion at 5 spots was ultimately minor, quickly submerged in the city's tides. Time ticked away. The tense follow-up investigation had already begun. The criminal investigation team got busy. The hidden dragon system back and got busy. Beside Eastlake, a black car had been parked for a long time with 2 women inside wearing dragon eye, their gazes constantly flickering. They were Zhu Ying and Huya. In the blink of an eye, the time had reached sunset. Zhu Ying slowly removed the dragon eye, a smile appearing on her beautiful, youthful face, exhaling softly. Her whole being seemed to relax. Looking at the current situation, today's raid was remarkably successful. Huya also took off her glasses, with obvious excitement in her eyes. 5 targets, tentatively judged as second-level bosses. This harvest is just a notch below Xinyu, who caught 31 people in one swoop. Xinyu caught 31 people in one scoop. Among them, exactly 5 second-level bosses. And today's mission was led by Huya, though it wasn't originally led by her, but Zhu Ying intended for her to lead, capturing 5 second-level bosses in one go. Whether it's 9-headed snake or Utopia, they're all chips on the hidden dragon system's merit board, not distinguished by organization but by rank. Huya and Xinyu's top-level gains on the merit board were already equal. The only thing lacking was the mid and low level. Zhu Ying chuckled lightly. Indeed, let's hope through these 5 people, we can also dig out more from the mid and low level. The 5 people were second-level bosses, and through them, more could be excavated. Those discovered would also be credited to Huya. Though Hidden Dragon emphasizes national interest and practices division of labor and cooperation, competition among members has always been an effective mechanism to invigorate an organization. Zhu Ying racked her brains to help Huya stand at the forefront of Hidden Dragon in the first phase. Whether you call it her wish or obsession, it was something she wanted to achieve. So she was focusing a lot on the real outcome of Huya's one big net. Huya said, "These 5 individuals have subordinates, but that sly fox Xinyu's 31 people also have subordinates coming out constantly. Counting on subordinates to compete, I might not win against her." "You're not wrong with that thought," Zhu Ying nodded. "Utopia and 9-headed snake are still different. Utopia emphasizes bloodline as a bond, inevitably having fewer lower tiers, while 9-headed snake is bonded by interests, having a broad lower tier. With the top tier gain the same, you might not win the mid and lower tier clash. Unless... Oh, I wonder what Lin Zaiasu is up to now. He's quite lazy. Having finished the work, he might have gone back to the hotel to sleep. Shall we have a chat with him?" "You also want to go?" Huya asked. "Typically, from our standpoint, it's not convenient to interact with non-staff, but the routine. Those heavenly kings all vie to break it. Why should I hold back? Let's go." They arrived at the hotel. There was nobody in. Lin Zaiasu hadn't returned. Huya called Lin Zaiasu, and at sunset, Lin Zaiasu returned to the hotel, knocking on the door. The door opened, and Lin Zaiasu's eyes lit up as he finally met Huya's instructor, Zhu Ying, who ranked 9th in the Hidden Dragon system. Zhu Ying's full head of white hair was exceedingly distinctive. Her complexion was equally peculiar. Skin like jade, faintly transparent, looked uncanny at first glance, but upon closer inspection, there was a fairy tale-like beauty. "Detective Lin, I am Zhu Ying." Zhu Ying greeted straightforwardly, extending her hand for a handshake with Lin Zaiasu. Lin Zaiasu smiled. "I've heard about you from them. Thank you for looking after Huya. Diane needs no one's care. She's meant to be a legend in her own right," Zhu Ying said. "Right now she needs an honor to stand at the forefront of the gold medal." This was to open and freely discuss. A sentence directly hit the point. "Are the arrests of these 5 people insufficient?" Lin Zaiasu asked. If it were before, sure, but you personally raised the bar for merits, so now this yield seems a little insufficient, Zhu Ying replied. Haha, Lin Zaiyasu laughed heartily. He understood what Zhu Ying meant. Chapter 334. Chapter 334. The Mysterious Chairman. If this were in the past, a Qianlong gold medal during a trial period, taking down 5 Utopia second-level bosses at once would certainly be legendary. She would undoubtedly be expected to claim one of the very few Qianlong gold medals. However, now he has raised the bar. Why? Because he credited Xinyu with a significant feat. With Xinyu standing there, Huya's big achievement today seems dim in comparison. Zhu Ying also smiled. As a Qianlong competing for achievements and benefits, isn't it somewhat untimely? Lin Zaiyasu gently shook his head. If it were only about benefits, then competing for profits would indeed be a bit untimely, but is competing for the gold medal ranking just about benefits? Do the gold medals with higher rankings earn higher salaries? Obviously not. Gold medals with higher rankings only face more daunting tasks. Exactly, why join Qianlong if not to strive for the lead? If you want to slack off, go directly to a state enterprise. Lin Zaiyasu said, I just feel Xinyu might jot me down in her grudge notebook again. In her grudge notebook, why? Huya was confused. Lin Zaiyasu laughed, because I intend to help you suppress her. Huya suddenly jumped up. Zhu Ying's eyes shone brightly. Is there another big fish? Lin Zaiyasu gradually reined in his smile. These 5 people are only second-level bosses. Have you considered the first-level boss? The first-level boss, the chairman. Zhu Ying's heart skipped a beat. Utopia is a newly emerged organization. Though it is called newly emerged, it has only been in the public eye for a short time. In fact, its layout is extremely far-reaching. Centered on the 5 regions of East, South, West, North, and Central, it has laid out 5 chairmen. The chairman is its first-level boss. There is only one first-level boss in the Central and South 5 provinces. How difficult is it to capture a first-level boss? Let me tell you something, and you will understand. Last lunar December, Qianlong conducted a ruthless purge against Utopia's Western Division, touching upon the Western Division chairman. Qianlong dispatched Heavenly King Zhu Feng to carry out the mission. Heavenly King himself executing this task, terrifying, right? Even more terrifying is that Heavenly King Zhu Feng failed. Even 3 gold medals were killed as a result. Facing the chairman, even king-level figures may fail. Hence, across the entire Qianlong organization, whenever Utopia's first-level boss, the chairman, is mentioned, there is an internal shudder of suspense. Zhu Ying was no exception. Yes, there is reason to believe that behind these 5 second-level bosses is the Utopia chairman of the Central Region, Lin Zaiyasu said. Zhu Ying said, 2 of the 5 people have confessed. They have never seen the chairman face-to-face. They communicate with the chairman using very primitive signal receivers, model PU-21. We have also obtained the signal device, and here are the related parameters. Zhu Ying put on the dragon eye, and the PU-21 signal receiver along with its parameters were projected in the room. This model of signal receiver is very old and primitive. Using it in modern communications appears extremely outdated. However, the more outdated something is, the higher its safety factor. Because it is not a digital signal, modern technology cannot trace the signal source. It can only be confirmed that this chairman is within 3,000 meters of where these 5 people received the signal, as this signal's maximum transmission distance is just 3,000 meters. Meters, if placed in a vast desert, is a very small point. But in a bustling metropolis with millions of people, the number of inhabitants measures in the millions. In any high-rise or alleyway, this earth-shattering figure might reside. Therefore, everyone knows this person is in Jiangcheng, but they are powerless. This is the uniqueness of being a chairman. Lin Zaiyasu was looking at the projection in midair, thoughts churning in his mind. In Zhu Ying's view, facing a chairman with such strong anti-investigation awareness and exceptional experience, the current means and clues are unable to pinpoint them. But Lin Zaiyasu is different. The signals he receives are more extensive. For instance, Zhu Ying can only speculate about the mysterious chairman based on confessions. However, Lin Zaiyasu changed 7 locations today, capturing 3 images of the chairman using time-space reversal. The image generated by the PU-21 signal transmitter. In the image, the chairman's face did not appear, just a silhouette with long flowing hair. Instructions were given at 3 time points to 3 individuals among the 5. The timing of the instructions given to Su Hong was just before the Tashin incident. It was due to this order that Su Hong arranged for that Li Tian clan member to carry the Th-35 grenade and infiltrate Tashin to bomb the ancient tower. Targeting a precise chairman image over a 2-month span is quite challenging. But Lin Ziaosu, with preconceived notions, was very aware that in such a significant incident like carrying a Th-35 grenade to bomb the ancient tower, there would certainly be a pair of black hands behind it, planning which definitely took place within a week before the event. Sure enough, diligence paid off for a determined person. With meticulous thinking and the beyond-science capability of time-space reversal, he precisely locked onto this message-sending image in the time-space river. This image can affirm 2 things. Firstly, this chairman is indeed in Jiangcheng. Secondly, the hidden mastermind behind the Tashin incident is not Su Hong but the chairman. However, the problem that needed solving remains unsolved. He still couldn't determine who this chairman was or their exact location. This originally thwarted pursuit by Lin Ziaosu. But an unexpected turning point arose in the 3rd image. While tracing back the 3rd image using time-space reversal, a seemingly insignificant occurrence happened. This image trembled slightly with a minor stutter. The Pu-21 is very primitive. Primitive things, however, are very stable in performance. Under normal circumstances, it will not stutter once it's started. Only one situation is an exception. The distance has reached its limit. This means that the distance between the chairman and this receiver just about hit the 3,000-meter mark. This discovery allowed Lin Ziaosu to see a glimmer of opportunity through boundless mist. Jiangcheng is vast, and if a circle with a radius of 3,000 meters is drawn centered on the site of signal reception, the intersected area is huge, and even if Lin Ziaosu were an immortal, he couldn't guess where to look. However, what if it isn't a circle, but a simple arc? The range shrinks infinitely. Lin Ziaosu, relying on the human Tao orchid heart, using super space sensing power as a brush, stood at the signal point and drew an arc with a radius of 3,000 meters in the void. His eyes brightened immediately. At this moment, under Zhu Ying's holographic projection, Lin Ziaosu's gaze rose, bright as well. "What did you discover?" Huya, very familiar with him, asked. Lin Ziaosu said, "Did you notice that the strongholds of these 5 individuals are all on the side of East Lake?" "Noticed," Zhu Ying said. "We can basically confirm that the chairman should be around here, but this area is a bustling part of Jiangcheng. The scope is still too broad. There is one place that deserves focused attention." "Where?" "Chaiyuan Temple." Huya was shocked. "Chaiyuan Temple? You suspect the bald monks in the temple of being involved in such insidious affairs." In the eyes of the world, temples are detached from worldly affairs and inherently compassionate. But one cannot deny that precisely temples have unique conditions for committing illicit acts. Chapter 335. Chapter 335. The resigned official from the political scene of the past. "There are conditions, tell me about them." Huya's interest was piqued. "First, it has plenty of free time, enough to ruminate. Second, it is very quiet where some secrets can be kept away from the public eye. Lastly, the people there come from all walks of life. No matter what their identity was at first, once they have their heads shaved, everyone naturally ignores their initial identity, because the Buddhists say, lay down the butcher's knife, become a Buddha on the spot. Even if they once held a butcher's knife, as long as they lay it down, the previous sins are not mentioned, let alone those who never had evidence proving they held such a knife." Zhu Ying's heart also raced. She was a bit suspicious whether this guy in front of her was obsessed with targeting temples. First, he took down the Dai Rai Xiaoyao temple, then the Wuxiang temple, and now he was pointing straight at the Chaiyuan temple. "Are you little Su at odds with bald heads?" But she was not Huya. Her focus was always on the key points. "You are not only suspicious of the Chaiyuan temple, you even have a specific target." "This is a serious matter. I can't make a decision on my own," Lin Ziaosu said. "Why not head to the Chaiyuan temple overnight?" "Let's go." The car sped out, heading toward the Chaiyuan temple. By now, the night was deep and quiet. The gates of Chaiyuan temple were not yet closed. The ancient temple under the blue lights exuding a tranquility and peace not found in a modern city at night. Lin Ziaosu, Zhu Ying, and Huya walked side by side, entering the Chaiyuan temple under the cover of night. The temple was very quiet, with no tourists, no incense burners, only a few monks gazing at the three late-night visitors with serene and merciful eyes. Lin Zaiasu went into the main hall, lit some incense, and was met with a monk's response from the shadowy light of a wooden fish. Exiting the main hall, he entered the courtyard and came across a little monk wearing glasses, who gave a polite Buddhist salutation. "Is the benefactor looking for someone?" "I'm looking for Master Huikong." Master Huikong has been in quiet retreat these past few days and may not be able to meet guests. Don't worry if he won't see us, he'll naturally send us away himself. There's no need for you to refuse. Lin Zaiasu brushed past him directly into the courtyard. Zhu Ying's heart skipped slightly. Master Huikong. Is this the target he planned? Who is this person? She was truly baffled. The Qianlong database contained data on almost all notable figures, but there were no monks being from outside the world. Unless they were pulled into some special case, Qianlong wouldn't specifically input them into the database. She didn't know, and of course, Huya knew even less. The courtyard was very quiet. A single lamp, like a bean, flowered in the depths of the meditation room. This meditation room was nestled at the end of the ancient timbered, deep courtyard. Arriving here during the day, it was cool. Coming here at night, it was slightly chilly. The three walked along the blue stone path to the outside of this meditation room. Inside the meditation room, an old monk slowly raised his head and quietly looked at the three people outside. He appeared to be about 50 years old, with a tall and slim figure. How to describe his face? To describe a monk as elegant may seem somewhat inappropriate, but there was just a touch of elegance about him. This was perhaps the lingering impression left by his past as a provincial government secretary-general. Even though he was within the Buddhist gate, he still possessed a natural grace. "Master Huikong, is it?" Lin Zaiasu said. The old monk inside smiled softly. "I am indeed Huikong. What brings the benefactor here?" "I am a detective, and I'd like to chat with the master about some interesting topics." "A detective? That is indeed an interesting worldly profession." Huikong smiled. "Please, benefactors." They entered the meditation room. The meditation room was exceedingly simple. A small tea table, several meditation cushions. A solitary lamp still burning blue oil. A window with the shadows of half a tree visible outside. That was all. The Buddhist sect is simple, without worldly goods, so benefactors, please take a seat on the floor, said Master Huikong. The three sat on the meditation cushion, Lin Zaiasu letting his gaze sweep the surrounding before resting it slowly on Huikong's face. Huikong smiled patiently, waiting for Lin Zaiasu to speak first. This was his habit. No matter who he was facing, he let the other party speak first. Lin Zaiasu smiled lightly. "Master, you were once a provincial government secretary-general, considered young and promising at the golden crossroads of officialdom, saw through the world and resolutely resigned to enter the empty gate, leaving behind a legend of officialdom. I have heard this legend and was deeply moved by the master's indifference to fame and fortune." Master Huikong placed his palms together. "The path is like the water of the Ganges. Fame and fortune are merely the moon in the water. The pursuits of the worldly differ from those of the empty gate. Ultimately, they are different." "Master's enlightenment is admirable," said Lin Zaiasu. "However, I have a doubt in my mind that I hope the master can resolve for me." "Please, benefactor." "Master said that fame and fortune are merely the moon in the water. A person entering the empty gate ought to let go of worldly affairs. Yet there are rumors in the Jiangcheng officialdom. Even though the master is in the empty gate, your dealings still touch the mundane world, solving problems that others in officialdom find difficult, which seems to suggest that the master's empty gate is not truly empty, is it?" Zhu Ying's eyes rose, her mind rolling like waves. She finally confirmed that Lin Zaiasu's target for this visit was indeed Master Huikong in front of them, because he had already quite bluntly challenged Huikong face to face. Huikong seemed somewhat surprised too, letting out a low Buddhist chant. "Amitabha, the world is vast, rumors are like fireflies, ears are shallow, easy to believe." Does the benefactor, seemingly an outstanding youth, also believe these groundless stories? Lin Zaiasu said, "Master, as a worldly recluse, living atop Hu Mountain with eyes on the clear water of East Lake, should also understand an old saying. There is no wave without wind, no wind from an empty cave." Huikong chuckled lightly. Did the benefactor's trip to Hu Mountain, entering a meditation temple, aimed to accuse this old monk of failing to cleanse his sixth sense faculties. For an ordained person, whether the six senses are pure or not is none of my damn business. However, if this master of the empty gate only appears to be empty in name, yet is truly full of evil, causing chaos in the world, and even points the spearhead at my home of Old Tashin, then I'm sorry, but I must strip him of his outer skin, let him understand what karma and retribution mean. As soon as these words were spoken, Huya's whole body suddenly tensed. The calm gaze in Zhu Ying's eyes sharply narrowed. The temperature in the meditation room seemed to drop 10 degrees suddenly. The smile on Hui Kong's face stiffened for a moment, but quickly regained its ease. This old monk has been away from the secular world for perhaps too long, somewhat unable to keep up with the benefactor's pace. What does the benefactor mean? Could he explain clearly? Lin Zaiasu said, Master, you resigned from office to join the Chaiyuan Temple on September 13th, 11 years ago, correct? 11 years ago. Indeed, time flows unseen in the mountains, winter passes uncounted. This old monk barely remembers having entered the empty gate for 11 years. Master Hui Kong sighed softly. Yes, it's been long enough, Lin Zaiasu said. The master may forget this span of time, but should not forget the real reason for taking this step in the first place. Seeing through worldly desires and obsession shouldn't have been the actual reason for this old monk to take the step. I just mentioned, if you really saw through the world, if you truly abandoned obsessions, you wouldn't allow numerous earthly paths to open within your devoted temple, Lin Zaiasu said. So, this step you took initially wasn't one you wanted, but one forced by circumstances, is that right? Hui Kong laughed. The benefactor's words are truly absurd. Who forced me? A policy. Chapter 336. Chapter 336, Illusion Realm Abyss. The smile on Master Hui Kong's face remained, but no matter how you looked at it, it was already stiff. At this moment, he seemed to wear a strange mask. Zhu Ying's eyebrows knitted slightly. Which policy? 11 years ago, on October 1st, a decree was implemented nationwide. All on-duty civil servants must undergo gene testing, with the test data included in the National Gene Database, said Lin Zaiasu. The forced testing decree. Zhu Ying's expression suddenly changed. Yes, the forced testing decree is about to take effect officially. Lin Zaiasu stared at Master Hui Kong. Did Master resign at the speed of light before this time node, because you knew your Li Tian clan bloodline couldn't bear the test? Swish. Zhu Ying stood up, just like a flying eagle in the sky. Huya didn't stand up, but her entire body tensed up, like a small tiger lying on a mountain, already smelling the scent of prey. Lin Zaiasu climbed Hu Mountain, entered Chaiyuan Temple and met Hui Kong. The real trump card was already revealed. He directly implicated Hui Kong as a Li Tian clan member. The Li Tian clan's population was originally not prosperous. Within Jiangcheng, 5 people had just been sentenced. Behind these 5 people was a chairman. No one knew who this chairman was, but now, in the minds of the 2 women, at least in Zhu Ying's, there was a crazy speculation. That is, the harmless old monk in front of them might very well be the chairman. If he truly is a member of the Li Tian clan, the likelihood of him being the chairman soared infinitely. Why? When Lin Zaiasu considered Chaiyuan Temple as tonight's destination, Zhu Ying had already drawn a circle in the dragon eye. The geographical location of Chaiyuan Temple was just right to cover the daily locations of these 5 second-level bosses. And through his exchange with Master Hui Kong, he slightly dug into his original roots. He was once the Secretary General of the provincial government, and someone who could reach this level is undoubtedly talented. Such a person serving as the chairman seems capable of truly subduing these 5 enterprise bosses. Combining it with the last law Lin Zaiasu mentioned makes it more convincing. The law is called the Forced Testing Decree. The word forced directly targets the Civil Servant Corps. The executor of the Civil Servant Corps testing is directly under the Government Affairs Office of Daxia Country. No one can cheat, no one can escape. However, the testing of business owners is much laxer, relegated to local areas, with many loopholes they can exploit. This resulted in these 5 bosses exploiting these loopholes, whereas, as Secretary General, Hui Kong had no loophole to exploit, forcing him to resign and retreat into the empty gate. Could he truly be the chairman of Central Utopia? If he really is, then tonight's gains are truly unprecedented. Master Hui Kong's eyes looked utterly blank, calmly gazing into the depths of the night sky. Lin Zaiasu's final words floated out. Master Hui Kong, please hate my profession. Not only can I see clearly that you're part of the Li Tian clan, but I also know that inside the wall cabinet behind you, you have a signal transmitter, Pu 21, used to issue orders to the 5 subordinates. As the voice fell, Zhu Ying stepped to the wall cabinet. Hand together. The cabinet door was suddenly pulled open. The moment the cabinet door opened, Zhu Ying's entire body shook. What did she see? A scene never heard of. A 10,000-foot abyss. Deep unknown end. Numerous strange monsters crawled out of the abyss, small ones like ants, large ones like small mountains, each one unheard of. Even Zhu Ying, ranked 9th in the Qianlong gold medal, was completely lost, feeling for the first time in her life as tiny as an ant. Huya's eyes were completely unfocused too. In her vision, Chaiyuan Temple, Hui Kong, Zhu Ying, and Lin Zaiasu had all disappeared, leaving only countless monsters, eyes full of abyss, and amidst heaven and earth, a seemingly abandoned self. What is going on? This was just their vision. In God's vision, they would realize that the abyss they saw did not exist at all. Inside the wall cabinet, there was only one Pu 21 transmitter. Oh, and there was also a wig. The wig was very long. It seemed like this wig was not worth focusing on in this case, but it was precisely this wig that underscored Hui Kong's insidiousness and caution. Through the image generated by Pu 21, long hair floated, and the face was unclear. Seeing this image, naturally, the gaze would shift from the fundamental bald monk. He deliberately misled even his own subordinates. As for Master Hui Kong, he silently caressed a pendant on his chest, and in silence he had already left this meditation room, reaching within Chaiyuan Temple's walls. The next moment his body relaxed, the hand extended, lengthened out of nowhere by 2 feet to grasp the tree branch above. The hand pulled back, and he crossed over the garden wall. In 3 steps he reached a cliff. He jumped up, leaping off the cliff. In that leap, below was the deep valley beneath Hu Mountain. Breaking through the valley leads directly to East Lake. However, just as his form recoiled, just as he left the cliff, a hand seemed to appear from thin air, grabbing his right arm tightly. Hui Kong was forcibly returned from the void, and a voice came to his ear. Sorry, this level of illusion has no effect on me. It was Lin Zaiasu's voice. Hui Kong's entire body abruptly changed. The whole person became like a fierce beast at that moment. His limbs were extraordinarily long, and his fingers were like knives. The right hand flipped to grab. His left hand suddenly pressed the pendant on his chest. The pendant shattered with a crunch and, once broken, emitted a bluish beam of light. The green light in front of Lin Zaiasu showcased a bizarre and non-human scene. Lin Zaiasu waved his hand across it, whoosh. Hui Kong's knife-like right hand broke off in the void, and the next moment, Lin Zaiasu's fingers pierced through the air and touched the pendant, which disappeared into his secret realm space. The green light vanished. The pendant vanished. Hui Kong's right arm was gone. He locked his fierce beast-like gaze firmly on Lin Zaiasu. Lin Zaiasu, we of the Li Tian clan won't coexist with you. The voice shrieked like an ape, where was there the slightest image of an enlightened monk? Lin Zaiasu laughed. This is right. You're putting on the image of a Buddhist high monk being all gentle. How was I supposed to beat the crap out of you? Now nothing is embarrassing anymore. He flipped his right hand and grabbed Hui Kong, suspended in midair. Spin him around. Boom! Hui Kong's bare head heavily slammed against the rock below. This boom sent shockwaves that woke up Zhu Ying and Hu Ya in the meditation room. Zhu Ying jolted awake, and the illusion before her disappeared. What abyss was there? What abyss monsters? There was only an ordinary wall cabinet, inside which was the Pu 21 she was deliberately searching for. Hu Ya also sprang up as if awakened from a dream. Master, what's happening? Illusion. Zhu Ying's face changed color like storm clouds. With a whoosh, a shadow of a figure passed over the garden wall. Lin Zaiasu. He raised his hand, tossing the clutch-held Hui Kong monk before Hu Ya. Lin Zaiasu, this person is handed over to you. If being the chairman of a utopia doesn't smooth your way up, you should best change your long-cherished childhood love. Hu Ya sprang up and delivered a kick. Get lost. You dare to change childhood love too, how do you change? The two were making a fuss there, while Zhu Ying stood by, dazedly watching. Chapter 337. Chapter 337, 8-Petal Green Lotus. She exhaled softly and gave a command. Above the sky, a black flying car appeared. In Chaiyuan Temple, the lights came on and the old abbot came running. The flying car's lights lit up, and 3 robots, glowing green all over, descended from the air. The post-mission cleanup began. Lin Zaiasu and Huya stopped their antics. I'm leaving first. Huya nodded lightly, going home. Spending a few days in Zhangcheng. All right, call me if anything comes up. Still want a mission? No mission and you won't call. Huya glanced at him sideways. I'm warning you, behave until June. What do you mean? Are you still worried I'll give Xinyu another challenge? Let her outshine you again. Lin Zaiasu was also speechless. Don't worry, I barely know her. I can even assert that I'm definitely on her hate list. Huya let out a chuckle. A gust of wind blew, and Lin Zaiasu disappeared. Qianlong officially made their move. Huikong boarded the flying car, and Zhu Ying and Huya also got on. The flying car sped through the air, and another room in Chaiyuan Temple became empty. Why another? It had already been empty once before. Who was it? Huiyuan monk. This guy was in league with He Jiang, pulled out by Lin Zaiasu after the wedding murder case, in front of the abbot of Chaiyuan Temple, who was left staring in disbelief. This time the same scenario played out, and the abbot's eyes were once again wide open, lips trembling, looking at the monks beside him as if each one was suspicious. In the blink of an eye, the flying car had flown hundreds of miles away. Zhu Ying watched the tightly bound Huikong on the flying car, her face with a thin layer of red, this peculiar red overlaying her naturally jade-like skin, displaying an extraordinary beauty never seen before. Huya also stared at the still unconscious Huikong, her gaze slowly shifting to Zhu Ying. Master, is this really the chairman of Utopia? Pretty much certain, Zhu Ying replied. Huya was delighted. Great, we captured a level 1 boss, let's see how Xinyu brags now. Is Xinyu's boasting all you're focused on? Is Xinyu really your main concern? Huya stared blankly at Zhu Ying, puzzled. Wasn't our initial goal to suppress Xinyu? Although it can't be publicly acknowledged, it's an open secret between us. Zhu Ying said, this matter is huge, extremely huge. How huge? Revolutionarily huge, Zhu Ying exhaled gently. Is it as huge as you say? Huya was unconvinced. After all, it was something her little partner did within a day. How big could it really be? Zhu Ying explained. A level 1 boss of Utopia. Represents one of the 5 pillars of the Utopia organization in Daxia. Isn't this a big issue? Big, but not the biggest. The biggest is going after the chairman, something Qianlong attempted once before last year during the 12th lunar month, led by Heavenly King Zhu Feng, losing 3 members and ultimately failing. What does this indicate? It indicates that targeting the chairman was a Heavenly King-level operation. And even a Heavenly King failed in that operation. What are we then? A Qianlong Gold Medal 9th, a Trial Gold Medal, a non-staff member. Can such an impromptu team compare with the Heavenly King team? Yet we accomplished what even the Heavenly Kings could. This news will soon spread across headquarters, triggering a massive upheaval. Huya was thrilled. Do you think Xinyu would jump up and curse once she finds out? My oh my. Zhu Ying watched her smug expression, almost at a loss for words. She slightly regretted bringing up Xinyu in front of her. This girl seemed overly sensitive about Xinyu, or more like overly sensitive. After regretting, she had some reflection. When Heavenly King Zhu Feng led the team against the Western Utopia chairman, why did they fail? Because they encountered a kind of unheard-of illusion magic. Even Heavenly King-level characters suffered losses under such miracle techniques. But tonight they succeeded. Was it due to luck? Not at all. They also encountered illusion magic that night. Both she and Li Danian fell into it. Under the illusion, if Huikong had attacked them, their lives would have been in peril. Even if Huikong chose to escape, fearing their instinctive backlash, he had a 100% chance of getting away. Huikong did run. However, he was brought back by Lin Zaiasu. Lin Zaiasu. His methods, even beyond the Heavenly Kings. This might be what's stirring her heart. This was also the shocking point she couldn't share with Huya for analysis. Qianlong King is the cornerstone of Qianlong, the sea-calming needle stabilizing Qianlong's terrifying power. If someone emerged who wasn't from Qianlong but was even more formidable than Qianlong King, what kind of storms would it incite? Shi Zhu is among the top-tier figures in Qianlong. She knows some heavenly kings are not as magnanimous as the legends claim. She also knows that within Qianlong, a trend has always existed advocating for suppressing civilian forces. She further knows a certain kind of human nature called the confidant law. What does it mean? I don't allow you to live poorly, but I also don't allow you to live better than I do. The implication is, you can be strong, but you can't be stronger than I am. Lin Zaiasu returned to the hotel. Night was deep. He sat by the window, closing his eyes. His face looked calm as usual, but within he wasn't calm. Because of one thing he had just obtained. That was Huikong's pendant. Before the pendant shattered, it was a typical, unremarkable wooden pendant, well suited to a Buddhist master's taste. However, in critical times, this pendant erupted with a surge of magical energy, manifesting an illusion realm of an abyss opening and all demons stirring before Lin Zaiasu. If Lin Zaiasu were an ordinary person, he'd be trapped in this illusion, and Huikong would have truly escaped. Unfortunately, Lin Zaiasu isn't ordinary. He possesses the heavenly Tao primordial spirit. His subdivine skill has reached level 19. His pair of heavenly Tao wisdom eyes can't be trapped by illusions of this level. He broke free, and in a moment of crisis, Huikong crushed the pendant, boosting the illusion's power tenfold. In this final wave of attack, even Lin Zaiasu nearly succumbed, but luckily his reaction was swift, tearing off the pendant and storing it in the secret realm space, thus completely thwarting Huikong's counterattack. This round of attack and counterattack occurred out of the sight of Hu Ye and Zhu Ying. It brought an intense excitement to Lin Zaiasu himself, lasting and persistent. There are two reasons. First, he suddenly remembered a line Chang Yu once said. Qianlong's actions against Utopia have gradually reached the higher levels. Last year's 12th lunar month, Heavenly King Zhu Feng launched a Heavenly King operation targeting an important outpost of Utopia. However, they encountered an illusion realm, with 3 gold medals dying on the spot. Despite being a Heavenly King level expert, Zhu Feng could only protect himself and was unable to capture the mysterious expert of Utopia. He encountered this illusion realm today. What does this indicate? Does it mean that even the chairman levels in Utopia have such illusion-inducing aces up their sleeves? Secondly, after the pendant broke, inside was a peculiar lotus flower. Made of green jade, an 8-petal green lotus. Chapter 338. Chapter 338. Initial exploration of the secondary deity. This 8-petal green lotus emitted a familiar energy fluctuation within his secret realm space. As Lin Zaiasu's heavenly Tao primordial spirit came into contact with it, he suddenly felt it was of the same origin as his subdivine skill. From descending Hu Mountain to the journey to the hotel, his heavenly Tao primordial spirit lay upon this lotus, absorbing the subdivine chi it emitted, and his subdivine skill visibly grew. By the time he reached the hotel, the energy fluctuation within the lotus had mostly dissipated, but his subdivine skill had unexpectedly broken through to level 20. This 8-petal green lotus. It is remarkably similar to the black water left by the mysterious secondary deity master within Saintess Qian Ling's blood coffin. That black water is the secondary deity's manifestation. What is manifestation? Subdivine secret technique is such a nebulous miracle technique, leaving behind a concrete projection. This 8-petal green lotus, could it also be the secondary deity's manifestation? Subdivine secret technique, rumored not to reside within the heavenly Tao system, is an independent exotic art extraordinary in its marvel. Now it's deeply linked to the enemy organization Utopia and has become a standard issue for level 1 bosses. What does that signify? Lin Zaiasu pondered for a long time but couldn't unravel the mystery. Suddenly, he thought of a person. More accurately, he wasn't sure whether this person was indeed human. His heavenly Tao primordial spirit entered the blood coffin within his body. Crossing over the blood coffin, there was a time-space river ahead. Within the time-space river, on a golden lotus, the old man with the yellowish complexion lifted his gaze, staring intently at Lin Zaiasu's primordial spirit drifting toward him. "Hey, Big Yellow, long time no see," Lin Zaiasu greeted warmly. "Long time, huh?" Big Yellow sneered. "Although time in the time-space river is chaotic, I might occasionally get it wrong, but this time I remember clearly. It's been less than half a year since we last met." Indeed, time is a relative concept. If you're starving through the day, a day can be very long. If you're trapped in the time-space river for tens of thousands of years, half a year for you is probably just a blink. Big Yellow glared at him. You know it. Then tell me, have you made any progress during this time? The profundity of time is too bewildering, too confusing. Let's not dwell on depressing matters. Lin Zaiasu floated over and landed beside the time-space river. Big Yellow, there's a question I want to ask you. His voice suddenly stopped, because Big Yellow's expression was very peculiar, staring at him as if seeing a ghost. What is this? Big Yellow suddenly sprang up, pointing directly at Lin Zaiasu, his finger trembling with excitement. Boy, you can actually step onto the temporal shore. Lin Zaiasu looked at the time-space river before him, then at the excited Big Yellow in the river, and at the rolling temporal waves beneath his feet. Stepping onto the temporal shore. What's wrong with that? Boy, how should I describe you? The temporal shore, is it something ordinary can step onto? You've managed to grasp even the basics of space-time law in just half a year, which greatly boosts my confidence. Maybe in a few centuries, or even within a millennium, you truly might have the hope of breaking into the time-space river. Damn. Centuries. Even a millennium. Forget centuries. Just let me be tough in 50-60 years when my soul finally drifts into the time-space river. Lin Zaiasu rolled his eyes, disinclined to discuss with this old man who had lived for tens of thousands of years and dismissed longevity about whether people are still tough a century later. Big Yellow, do you know anything about subdivine secret technique? He changed the subject. Big Yellow managed to suppress his excitement effectively. Subdivine secret technique. Boy, why do you only talk about high-end topics right off the bat? Is subdivine secret technique considered high-end? Subdivine secret technique's level varies depending on the person. Big Yellow explained. The secondary deity signifies spiritual power. Call it low-end, it's so low-end to what extent? Everyone more or less has some, and it's not just humans. Any breathing creature has it, even pigs. The reflection in humans is consciousness. The consciousness body contains the secondary deity. However, in the cultivation path, subdivine secret technique refers to something else entirely. Bearing the title of secret technique must mean it has utility. In terms of utility, it's high-end. Subdivine secret technique can create illusion realms, trapping powerful beings for millennia without escape. It can kill primordial spirits in void, invisible and intangible. It's notorious in cultivation path. It can probe others' inner voices, making worldly plots and schemes unhidden. Nevertheless, gain inevitably leads to loss. As this technique is too insidious and harms the harmony of heaven, cultivators are doomed to suffer heavenly punishment. He spoke a lot, leading Lin Zaiasu's heart to rise progressively higher with excitement, then suddenly hearing that last sentence. Heavenly punishment is certain. Heavenly Tao balances, gain inevitably leads to loss. If one side overachieves, another side must repay. Big Yellow said. Those overly outstanding and secondary deity face minor health issues initially, premature death in the midterm, and perhaps heavenly punishment in the end. Boy, your perception is transcendent. You better be cautious of premature death due to excessive wisdom. Oh, come on, do you ever stop babbling? You are the one who will die prematurely due to excessive wisdom. Lin Zaiasu didn't indulge him at all. One sentence made Big Yellow collapse, releasing a long sigh. I do wish for excessive wisdom, yet after tens of thousands of years, I find I am still not wise enough. I am actually indifferent to dying early or not. Once you reach my point, you will know that even death sometimes offers an escape. You've ended up like this, and although you refuse to face it, it's obvious even with your toes that the bad deeds you've done have brought you repercussions. Don't worry, I am pure-hearted and won't reach your position. Lin Zaiasu said. There's another question in subdivine secret technique. Is there an 8-petal green lotus? Big Yellow's eyes bulged at the first half, suddenly hearing the latter half. Big Yellow suddenly raised his head. His facial expression completely changed. 8-petal green lotus, what does it look like? Lin Zaiasu gestured, and a virtual 8-petal green lotus appeared, precisely the one he obtained from Master Huikong. Big Yellow gazed at this lotus for a long time, exhaling hugely. Scared me. I thought you really had the capability to obtain one of the sub-god 3 treasures, Moon Lotus. Turns out it's merely a regular item. Regular? Not entirely regular, right? Lin Zaiasu said. You probably can't detect it from across the time-space river, but this lotus holds the secondary deity manifestation. Big Yellow's brow slowly furrowed. A lotus with secondary deity manifestation. Could it be that the moon lotus truly surfaced? Has this lotus been infused with moon lotus's aura? Infused with moon lotus's aura. Lin Zayasu's heart suddenly brightened. That might be the answer. Level 1 bosses all have a piece of illusion treasure at hand. If this is indeed some exotic treasure Moon Lotus that shocks even Big Yellow, then Moon Lotus certainly seems a bit too cheap. Only if Moon Lotus derived a spawn treasure could it make sense. An item wouldn't spontaneously spawn. Could Utopia really possess such an exotic treasure, the genuine Moon Lotus? Could an ordinary thing touched by its aura transform into an illusion treasure that could even down the Qianlong King? What kind of treasure is Moon Lotus ultimately? Big Yellow said, Subdivine secret technique isn't inherently from this heavenly Tao. It wanders the heavens. 3 treasures are its extreme. One is Lost Lotus, another Sun Lotus, and another Moon Lotus. Lost Lotus has 3 petals, Moon Lotus 8 petals, Sun Lotus 9 petals. Each has its own marvel. To gain one of the 3 treasures is to truly attain the subdivine Tao. What does it mean to attain Tao? To transcend the domain of magic and enter the realm of Tao. However, what practical use are these 3 lotuses ultimately? To ascend to the Tao realms, what kind of realm is that? Even Big Yellow is unaware.